Street knowledge from the kids that feed knowledge. Street knowledge from the kid that feeds knowledge. See, I give and I take at the same time, so I guess I live and I wait with the same rhyme. And I'm lifting the weights and I can't find anything under me. Anybody wanna be me must live comfortably in their own skin. Then I gotta own them, feeling like I own skin. The concept of it, something that covers you. Guess you could love it if you could shed it, but then again forget it, cause losing your skin is not my fetish. And I got my top 5 sets. And if your number's 2 through 5, you gotta understand I do chew through guys if they ever try to send me the new lies that I don't like.
I would've said I'm urban, but then again I'm not suburban. I've been nurtured, listened to by every single person in this city. So come here with me in this city. So come here with me.
My brother might be losing his mind. That's what happens when you're cruising through time. This is the city, and this is where we dwell. This is where your fists start to swell when you beat in the pavement. Walk around trying to understand how a week or a day has gone to be spent. You see, money replaces time, and I ain't got nothing on my mind but dimes. Maybe I'll be falling in love way too quick, and that's not the shit I need to be concerned with. Maybe I need to speak it with a nice firm chick with firm lips and a nice thick ass. God damn, can't get past the body. This is like Six Flags. I'm having so much fun walking around. There's so much drums. Can you feel it?
I would've said I'm urban, but then again I'm not suburban. I've been nurtured, listened to by every single person in this city. So come here with me in this city. So come here with me.
The same place that I glorify leaves me mortified, horrified. How can I see more of the lies if I keep on embracing the same people that keep facing me with the same shit basically? Is it hate for me or are they embracing me? Nothing but hugs, handshakes, and whatever. Maybe I'm safe and free from the monotony. This lottery monopoly game keep playing with me. Guess I'm playing for keeps, and I'm never gonna be laying in the Jeep. That'll lead me to laying in the coffin, laying 6 feet deep. That'll be a hearse, and that'll be the verse. Thinking about the city, it's dead, but I'ma keep on living as long as it's all in my head, Charles.
I would've said I'm urban, but then again I'm not suburban. I've been nurtured, listened to by every single person in this city. So come here with me in this city. So come here with me.
Go ahead, drop a jewel.
Check it out.
What is all that have to do with the rap game? Patience, you know what I mean? And like I said, like meditation, in order to get you to create, you know about yourself. So when I manifest my vision, people, stuff like that, that thought right there, just it's like it's coming from within, like, you know what I mean? I'm the champion, and it's quick, you know what I'm saying? Number one, I'm free, that's the way, on the mic, I talk about the flight that we do. Put on your cookie and my milk and let it soak in my rap. On the mic, I talk about the flight that we do. Put on your cookie and my milk and let it soak in my rap. On the mic, I talk about the flight that we do. Put on your cookie and my milk and let it soak in my rap. On the mic, I talk about the flight that we do. Put on your cookie and my milk and let it soak in my rap. On the mic, I talk about the flight that we do.
Check one. Like that. What's your plan? Check it out, check it out.
Dedicated with the message to a soldier. Brother, may you live for your child. Teach the truth cause the future looks wild. Street life has gotta raise the king and stays to the now with no past. Black queens are running wild for cash without a question. Every day's a lesson in the drug profession. Cops arresting be the same jigs reinvesting. Equipping niggas with the means for making minor figures. Undercovers and surveillance, watch behind the trigger. We live a nation of sin that surrounds. My holy grounds are like hell, and now I seek for higher bounds. Words of righteous sounds deliver me. Bad cess inhibits me from lies. I wonder if my king will ever rise above this shame. So I stay wise within the whole game. Decorate my soul before my whole frame. Spades a product of ghetto sites with street lights frame a world of corruption. Man's corruption. So what's your plan, my man? The niggas on the streets trying to make it grand. So what's your plan, my man? Tell me what's your plan. Tell me what's your plan. Overs in corrupt mode, propaganda sold on big screens. Niggas roll with mad dreams, a life leeching off of math fiends. Finally figured out what math means, to finance a life of riches. False promises, manipulating bitches. Honeys in a crib, chopping white, making cream or save their life. Smoking blunts, hit them like a serpent's bite. Just the sight of how we live a lifeless. Us that got the ghetto like this. For blaming God once we have a crisis. The world's orders got us tortured like the seventh seal. No room to heal, we're married to the ship for real. Caught up in the devil's deal. My little kids are making dollar bids and breaking how they want with shit conceal. So I reveal the whole truth. Walk the earth with wall of steel and bring the structure to the ghetto youth foundation. Time is racing, the whole mess is complications. Revelations, what we see we facing. Technology's replacing mankind. But what's your plan, my man? Well, you can bet the grand and make your mind. So what's your plan, my man? Niggas on the streets trying to make it grand, but they don't understand. But what's your plan? Tell me what's your plan, my man. Tell me what's
What's your plan? I'm talking structure, foundation. Structure, foundation. Talking structure, foundation. I see the end is coming, niggas be running. The way we survive is stunning. We trade our kids' lives for slumming till the heaters got a soldier gunning. They love to kill more than coming, cause the ghetto is a game, survived by the cunning. We got men molesting little girls, crack babies, fake dressing in pearls. You wanna free the world? Pregnant hookers turning tricks, just to get a fix off a dealer's mix. You wanna free the world? It's like that.
Peace, Chiefs, and Dares. It's Bronzebird here with the Brownstone Powwow. This episode is named Bronzebird versus Pro Blacks. And luckily, the whole entire point of this, shouts to you, Go Professor. Please make sure you subscribe to the brother Go Professor. You know what I'm saying? Dope content as usual. As it is seen, first of all, wait. I don't know what the weather is like for you guys out there. But right now here in New York, it is hot as hell. I don't know if you can hear the noise of my AC going off because it is hot as hell outside, right? Jeez. All right, whatever. But today is supposed to be about Bronzebird versus Pro Blacks because I find a lot of the whole entire talking points about this unity, this community, and brothers in the manosphere space talk about it as well. So I'm just kind of like, okay, we can get to the whole entire thing of, you know, trying to make the whole entire statement about the improvement of so-called black people, whether it be from certain countries in America or the UK and all these different things like that. First of all, people, we have to have the confidence that we are the Aboriginal people, indigenous, whatever you want to call it, the original people of this earth. I don't give a damn what no one says. I say that we are the original people of this goddamn earth. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise, all right? And of course, they're going to try to put in history that, no, that's not true, or it could have been, or maybe, allegedly, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm trying to get at. But I had put up a couple of notes today, and luckily, the Most High, or the universe, usually always gives me jewels or drops downloads before I start doing my streams. So I was like, okay, cool. Finally, I have something that I can put on here and I can talk about and I can add on to my list. Because there's a brother that I watch right now. Right before I did this stream, he was talking about, he kind of misses Trump. That Joe Biden is not doing a damn thing for so-called black people. But had y'all convinced to vote for him, and if you didn't vote for him, you ain't black. And what I want to know about Joe Biden is, has he ever apologized for that? Has he ever apologized for such an outlandish piece of shit statement? You understand? Like, I wonder if he ever apologized for that, because that's the shit that, you know what I'm saying, I think about it. I'm like, yo, did he ever apologize for that? I don't think he did. I'm going to just read one comment real quick. Demetris always dropping jewels on the page. Shout out to Demetris. He's supposed to be having a stream later this week. Make sure you subscribe to his channel. He says right here, it means nothing if we don't follow through with a plan to make things better. Some people be here all day, if you know what I mean. Absolutely, I know what you mean, Demetris. I know exactly what you mean. I know exactly what you mean. So, my thing about it is this. I think a lot of people talk on a soapbox, and a lot of people is ego driven. And then shout outs to my homeboy Wacky. We was having a conversation about this the other night, and about how you got a lot of people who's ego driven, so focused on being a leader. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not with the whole entire leadership if there is no, I was going to say congruent, but I was going to say like, a versed, well put congregation of so-called black people who can agree on one thing. Now, naturally, I understand we agree on different things. Like we agree on certain things as so-called black people, but we're dealing with a discombobulated house. And folks out there is trying to convince me that I'm wrong for sitting up there pointing out the fact of the matter that it's a discombobulated house. A lot of so-called black people live in delusions. They live in illusions, excuse me. They live in this ill state of mind of thinking this so-called black community can be fixed by liberalism. It's not going to be fixed by liberalism. It's going to put you down in a goddamn rabbit hole if you think it's going to be fixed by liberalism. It's not going to be fixed. So, basically to start off, because I have it in my notes tonight, I definitely did make sure that I put it in my notes. So, a lot of people is talking about the BET Awards, BET, and every time I get on Instagram, every year when they talk about the BET Awards, they keep mentioning the fact of the matter that it's not owned by a so-called black man no more. That it's owned by some type of quote-unquote Jewish family and all these different things like that. And my thing to that is BET was never designed to be solely for so-called black people. And you might be like, Bronzebird, why would you say that? A lot of these pro-black things, these pro-black channels, these whole entire this whole entire things that y'all think that they're doing for your people, they're doing it for the validation of so-called black, so-called white people. Okay? A syndicated network that's on television. You have to play by the rules of the so-called white media. So you really think that BET was going to really make shows for you niggas? Like, they were not going to give you the shows that you truly wanted. When it came to the sitcoms, they did not want the father and the mother in the home. They either wanted the father in the home or a mother in the home. Okay? Nowadays, with BET, they so damn corny. They sit up there and come out with these reality shows that's a copycat off of other reality shows. Remember College Hill? College Hill was supposed to be the college version of The Real World. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then they did the inverse. So you know how with Real World, allegedly, it was more so-called white cast members, and it was always just one or two so-called black people as cast members. But when it came to College Hill, they flipped the reverse. You understand? They sat there and had so-called black people, and then they had the so-called white boy that was the want to get down so-called white boy, if you understand what I'm saying. The hood white boy. You know what I'm saying? The Jack Harlows or the necessarily the Eminems, but you know what I mean. You understand? So I just think it's pretty funny. People get all mad and upset about BET, and the fact of the matter that I believe that the owner of BET sold the company back in 2000. Where I'm sitting here and I'm saying I'm not surprised by this at all. But getting back to the BET Award show, yes, yes, Chris G, a wigger, exactly, a wigger. So the thing about it is that talking about the BET Awards, a lot of people is making this whole big thing about the event I'm about to talk about in a second. All these different dances, all these performances, all of these people that got all these awards. And then, ironically, for 2021, it's supposed to be a year of the black woman, year of the woman, and all this other stuff. And it falls right directly into the pit of what they make the so-called black community. It is all about so-called black women. And a lot of people don't like that when I say that, but it's the truth. They make all this about so-called black women. Why? So that the so-called black women get left out once again. It is a selfish tactic. And then when they sit up there and bring it up, or we bring it up, right? You know, guess what they say? They sit up there and they say, well, you come from a black woman birthed you, and da-da-da-da, and this, that, and third. All these stupid-ass trait things that happens, right? And I'm not denying, yes, you come from a black woman. That's right. Your mom is a so-called black woman. Unless you're like biracial or another race listening, then that makes sense. Peace, prime time. But my thing about it is when saying with that, I just get frustrated because it's like, why do y'all forget the essential ingredient when it comes to you even being here? The Father. The Father. How is the Father not mentioned in this whole entire thing? And this is the ironic part about America, because they go so hard about trying to celebrate Mother's Day, but do y'all celebrate Father's Day? You don't. You probably don't. You probably just give your father a call and be like, oh, happy Father's Day, Dad. Where's all these extravagant discounts for fathers? What, you think because you get him a coupon from Home Depot it's supposed to mean shit? No. What about if he wants to be wine and dine too? What if he wants to go to a restaurant? What if he wants to go to a fancy spa and all these different things? This is how they treat fathers in America, specifically so-called black men that are fathers who care for their children. Since a lot of people want to go with this trope, so-called black men do not like taking care of their kids, which is a goddamn lie. The fact of the matter is that I see every day when I walk outside, I see a father with their daughter or their son. Just had a conversation with one of my bros last night. He posts a picture of his kid every single time and still does what he has to do. He takes care of his kid. He has a daughter. You understand me? So getting back to what I'm saying about the wannabe so-called awards called the BET Awards that happened the other night. Exactly. But you understand that they're pushing a narrative, and this is why I always say this stuff when I go on panels or when I talk about it here. They're always pushing a narrative so that the so-called black man's confidence can stay in the same place where he is on a totem pole, at the bottom. They do not want so-called black men to be positive. They don't want so-called black men to be prolific. This is where they get into this whole entire statement of saying that so-called black men always complain and don't want to take accountability, which is something I'm going to get into a little bit later in this show. And then, of course, as always, I'll open up the panel so you guys can jump on and give your thoughts. But going to this BET Awards thing, I didn't watch it. I watched the highlights, okay? I watched, yeah, and primetime, real talk, I'm going to get into that talk because I have to identify two specific so-called black men that I'm pretty sure I'm at war with. You know what I'm saying? Those are the dudes that get on my nerves, right? So, getting to the BET Awards, no, I didn't watch it. I found out about the BET Awards walking down the street, going over to a relative's house, and they started having these shirts that said the BET Awards 2021. What you think, I'm watching that shit? I haven't watched the BET Awards in years. BET Awards is shit. The BET Network is shit. Okay? Hold up. ITV is funny for saying that. He's like, you mean the Gay ET Awards? You stupid. So it's the Get Awards. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm gonna get into that for a second. You know what I'm saying? So at the BET Awards, I'm trying not to get to the main topic of conversation, but I think that I should because it's only appropriate, right? So first, I'm gonna start off with City Girls. Doesn't surprise me you have these ratchet ass women from Miami sitting up there talking about the twerkulator, they're sampling some type of beat that came from the 1980s, and then they reincorporated it into a song for 2021. Trash ass women with those trash ass weaves and them trash ass dances and that trash ass twerking. This is what you get. This is the stuff that they put on the table with the nonsense, right? You get that. No real thought. Bunch of bullshit. Megan the Whore takes the stage. Need I say more? I don't like Megan the Whore. So forget it. I'm not going to even talk about that. Cardi B is pregnant with a second baby. Great. I hope everything is all right. She's capping when she sit up there and say she don't cook, she don't clean, but she got a ring because she cleans. All right. Let's not try to forget like she's teaching women the wrong things. There's nothing wrong with catering to your man. Okay. Because a lot of people have that as a misconception, all right? Like catering to your man. I believe in partnership. You scratch my back, I scratch your back. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, there's things that I'm going to do that you're not going to do, and there's things that you're going to do that I'm not going to do. You understand? So that happened. All of these tributes, all of these Year of the Woman pissed me off. And I'll tell you why it pissed me off. Because again, it goes back to my point about the mindset of the so-called black woman who overtakes the so-called black community and makes everything about her. Everything. When I sat up there and I had to see and look at a commercial of Tamika Mallory put up that goddamn bullshit of the fucking Cadillac commercial where there's nothing but so-called black women and so-called black trannies, yeah, it made me feel some type of way. Then you have this cornball Roland Martin sitting up there calling dudes on chats Dusties because we calling her ass out for the fuckery she's doing. Then the fact of the matter is that then they have these people out here in Black Lives Matter putting all that goddamn bullshit. Patrice Kohler sitting up there going out with a goddamn lesbian, and these women out here ain't even with a so-called black man. I even found out the other day there's a founder from Black Lives Matter that is actually a heterosexual, but she's married to a so-called white man. So what you preaching about? How you preaching about all this whole entire things? You sitting up there telling people you care for black lives. You care for black lives and you care for black men winning that goddamn casket. I had to have arguments with my own family members about conversations like this. You understand me? I had to have whole entire conversations with my family members who got mad at me when I said fuck Black Lives Matter. Like, they got mad at me about that shit. And I said, Black Lives Matter does not honor me when I'm alive. Black Lives matters to everybody in society when a black man is killed and in a casket. Stop it. Stop lying. Stop capping. Stop trying to pretend like you care because you don't. BT was going to do that. Again, like I said, once they put up the whole entire thing, I'm talking about the year of the woman, it was game over for so-called black men. Then you have all these so-called black men out here at the award show sitting up there saying, yes, queens, yes, queens. Why the fuck do you people upgrade and promote degeneracy? I don't get it. How do y'all support women who are not taught values in life, right? To understand that they need to be classy and not trashy. Okay? Like, why is that so hard to comprehend? And then y'all put that back on the black community like we supposed to care. I don't care about that shit. Okay, you gave Queen Latifah an award. I think Mary J. Blige an award. I can't remember everything that happened because I really didn't watch it. I just seen the highlights when I Googled it this morning. So obviously, we get to the conversation about Mr. Lil Nas X, and now all these whole entire things about him kissing two guys on stage, and you know, all these different things happen with him doing his song Montero and this, that, and the third. Let me tell y'all something. The reason I'm not surprised by this is because I already knew it was going to happen. Okay? I knew this was gonna happen, and y'all fell for the bait. Y'all fell for it. Y'all fell for the bait. You know why you fell for the bait? You fell for the bait because of the fact of the matter is Lil Nas X is naturally a contrarian. He's a contrarian. His whole entire program is to go against so-called black people with a voice. You understand me? And then to add fuel to the fire, Congress just sat there and put out a bill talking about how now, all right, can y'all still hear me or is the fan too loud? Let me know. But this is my point. Lil Nas X, right? Yes, Queen Latifah, it's been alleged that Queen Latifah is a so-called lesbian. It's been alleged. I'm not going to speak on it, but it's been alleged that Queen Latifah is a so-called lesbian. All right? My thing about it with Lil Nas X is, like, he does this on purpose. He's trolling y'all, and y'all are falling for it. If y'all didn't watch my YouTube video since March, right? I did a video called The Satanical Plus Whole Programming featuring Lil Nas X, okay? I was skeptical about the message that he put up on Instagram because he did an Instagram live saying that he's not a homosexual. When people asked him if he's bisexual, he said he's not. When they asked him if he's gay, he said he's not. He said that he's a straight man. He said that he likes women. That's what he said. So now with that fact of the matter, you're being promoted to be the so-called black man who's gay for pay. Is that what we're going with? Is that what we're alleging to? Because that's what it seems like you're trying to do and what you're trying to say. But otherwise than that, Yes, he's a contrarian. He's a complete contrarian. So y'all got sat there and decided to get at Lil Nas X, sat there and said, the children, the children, the children. Right? Oh shit. Yo, my homeboy is here. What's good, bro? I'm glad you can make it. I'm glad you can make it, bro. What's good? Finally you come up to my streams. Damn, what's good, bro? You need to join my stream sometimes. I'm getting off track. But otherwise than that, Lil Nas X, going back to what I'm saying, he already, this was already planned out. They already wanted to do it. And if you really wanted to get to the nitty gritty, how many of you motherfuckers is sitting up there trying to call out RuPaul, who's been doing the same thing since like the 80s and the 90s, doing this whole entire thing. It was even on a show with a kid, fam. In the house, we had that episode with LL Cool J back in like 94 or 96, I forgot what year. What? RuPaul has been doing this for a minute. Now all of a sudden y'all getting y'all feelings about Lil Nas X. Like I said before, this is all comedy to me because I knew it was going to happen. Even before watching the show, I know that they was going to make a big deal about Lil Nas X because Lil Nas X was going to do something over the top, kissing two dudes on stage. And now y'all talk about agendas. Okay? Now, this is where I get into the whole entire idea, which is in my notes right now, where I start to talk about the problem with the so-called black man. Now, at first, we have an understanding in the manosphere. Yes, it is the so-called black woman. The liberal so-called black woman in general is against the so-called black man. Hear what I said. The liberal so-called black woman is against the so-called black man. That is to say, not all so-called black women are against so-called black men. Okay? Because if you really are the pro-blacks, right, or you just a person like me who's just about truth, but still loves their people, you might want to check out certain women on YouTube that make statements every day, besides Antisocial, besides the other ones that you may know. Not to call you out, my dear, just because you're like one of my favorite YouTubers. But anyway, you like the other day, check out this lady called Black Love Recovery. She makes great YouTube content. There's this girl on YouTube called Goddess Perception. Watch her. She makes great content. Okay? There's many women out here who recognize what's going on. That's why I don't really think that they would be considered liberal women. They might have some type of ordeals or whatever that skips into it, but they have an understanding about what's going on. Those are the tribes you should work with. But mainly, the war is not with liberal so-called black women. That's not what the war is about. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, and I'm going to get to that into a second, ITB. The thing about it is, the problem is you have to fight against two so-called black men. The category of two so-called black men that I put them in a category is the homosexual so-called black man and the liberal so-called black man, aka the subservient black man that is, I'm sorry to say subservient, but the black man that is subservient to the liberal so-called black woman. The ones that's the bougie Negroes, as I like to call them. The ones like Roland Martin and the brother that's against the manosphere that I always talk about. I don't need to mention his name. But the thing about it is, these dudes will preach all this stuff about black men take accountability, and I'm sick and tired of you black men. All of you black men are pookies. All this dumb shit, right? And you gotta, this is why I have to say, when it comes to those subservient dudes, you gotta look in their file. This is why I had a conversation about it on another stream, and for whatever reason, this low-life divester wanted to sit up there and argue with me and talk about, it's his right, it's his right. But I wasn't talking to you. I was making a general statement about a dude that I disagree with and I have no respect for, because I've already told you what my problem with him is. It's not the fact of the matter that he's against the manosphere. It's cool, critique it all you want to. People critique the space every day. That's fine, right? But this is the thing. If you're going to talk about holding accountability to something, then I have to look at you and say, you should already have it down pat, my brother. Stop giving me lip service and actually show me what you actually did. What organizations have you been involved in? What have you done for the quote-unquote community since you say it? If you're working for a so-called white man, you preaching all this pro-black shit, you ain't really pro-black, because you would sit up there and at least be working under a so-called black man or so-called black woman. How many businesses do you support on a daily basis that's owned by so-called black people putting money in their pockets? Stop the cap, bro. You understand? And those are the dudes you have to deal with, because everything about them is to try to make you look like shit because you stand on your 2 feet and on your square. See, the rebellious so-called black man is an enemy to everybody. They out for war. A lot of people already don't like Bronzebird. And if you ever met me in real life, people know how disrespectful I am. Like, I'll straight up tell you to their face, I don't fucking care about your opinion. I don't care. And really will be thorough enough to have a conversation to piss you off. That's how rough I am. You understand? My friend that's in the chat right now can co-sign exactly how I am. He knows this. So otherwise than that, the subservient so-called black man wants to make you feel like you're wrong and try to label you as the degenerate so-called black men just because of the fact of the matter that you don't want to take BS. Okay? That's what they want to do. They want to exactly do that and include you in it and say, you are like those dudes. You have a jail record. No, I don't. You have all these different baby mamas and all these kids that you don't take care of. No, I do not. You don't know politics. You don't know this. You don't know that. How do you know that? Okay? You don't know shit. Oh, you listen to rap music and this, that, and third. No, I listen to different kinds of music, sir. Calm your ass down. And that's what you have to do with these bougie Negroes. That's all these lapdogs for these liberal so-called black women are. They're bougie Negroes. I'm the better black man. You understand what I'm saying? Those are the niggas that feel as if they have everything to say in the world, like they got it like that, man. Sit your dumb ass down. The same niggas that come out there and sit up there and say the black woman is God. You know what I'm saying? The black woman is God. You understand me? Bro, look, listen, through society, whether we was ruling, captivity, whatever you want to call it, we are still the Aboriginal people. It takes two to tangle in these situations, people. Okay? The man's sperm and a woman's womb. The woman is special to the society as much as the man is. We are the most highest creations. So at the end of the day, I'm always going to have respect for women, but I do not like divestors. That was random, but I just have to make an announcement on that. I do not like lapdog, subservient, so-called black men that feel like they're better than everybody. Go sit your ass down somewhere, bro. What, you think you fancy because you got a college degree? And that you making an article on the root, my nigga? You ain't saying shit. The fuck out of here. Like that's the type of stuff that pisses me off about a lot of these liberal Negroes, man. And then they go to these marches. What's a shame is you have these brothers that go to the Black Lives Matter protests and they don't, and then when you ask them, did you read what it says on the website that they did not include you, black man? Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I said, so you ever spoke to any of the leaders that you know and you cool with in your branch or whatever about that? Instead of fighting all day about police officers? Why are you not creating community organizations within your own neighborhood and advocating for so-called black people to up so-called black politicians? You know how many so-called black politicians we have running this year for city council, comptroller, and all these different things? I mean, shit. Right now, the person that's running for New York City mayor is a so-called black man. Eric Adams, the Brooklyn borough president, which he still has a lot of explaining to do because it shouldn't be all this gentrification going on in Brooklyn. That's just ridiculous. And then they want to name all these random ass neighborhoods in Brooklyn other than what it is. They want to name a small pocket off of the Myrtle Broadway stop off the J, M, and Z train, some weird ass name, and I'm like, stop the cat, fam. You just moved here. Go sit your ass down. All right? You know what I'm saying? But hold on, guys. Hold on. Yeah, my joint acting up a little bit. It should be fine. Okay, cool. So back to what I was saying. That's what it is. So I'm sorry, I got off topic, but I wanted to say those are the liberal blacks. So when it comes to the homosexual so-called black men, those are the ones that picks up a lot of the feminine energy from so-called black women and are naturally agents of chaos, as quoted by another YouTuber. Because those type of dudes want to be able to play both roles in the situation. At the end of the day, you have to understand that the liberal so-called black person, or the pro-black in this case, the pro-blackity black, is seeking white validation. They're not about sitting up there helping out so-called black people actually move forward and spin the wheels on trying to be a progressive society. All of them is full of shit. Do you understand me? That the pro-blackity black says that we need to better the community and do all these different things, but it's the validation of so-called white people. To get in the arms of so-called white people, to get a hug from so-called white people. When you have militant and vigilant people that's been out there before, the brother something Muhammad back in the 90s, that wasn't about all that BS, and he's sitting up there letting you know what's up. One of these brothers from the Nation of Islam, I believe, that lives in the UK, when he made his statements, he was a revolutionary leader or someone, a voice of reason out in the UK. I forgot his name. You understand what I'm saying? I watched his YouTube videos, so I have an understanding on that. Even nutritionists, the dudes out there that's out there and want to make a difference because they know the food in the US is BS. From a so-called black man, Dr. Sebi, an Afro-Nicaraguan. You understand me? This is the stuff that they don't like to see. The homosexual so-called black man plays double roles. He wants to be able to say, this is my voice, this is my choice for being essentially different as a so-called black man, right? But it's based on my sexual orientation first. Then I flip it and then say I have it hard in the society because I'm a so-called black man. Then they will trash the so-called black community for not accepting his lifestyle. You see how that works? It remixes. It remixes. Because let the so-called white man or the government or the institution say, hey, gay black man, we will give you X amount of dollars or X amount of opportunities to do whatever you want. You can say whatever you want. You can own whatever you want. The so-called black man is not thinking about being a black man. He's thinking about being gay first. He's thinking about the LGBTQ community first. He's not thinking about you, so-called black man, who's vigilant in all these different things. And this is not to say, again, for disclaimer, that there aren't so-called black men who do not understand, who might be gay, who might be involved in some type of LGBTQ practice or this, that, and the third. It's all about using external factors instead of addressing the real issue at hand. That's the problem with these dudes. And then, of course, you get the transsexuals that want to have all these different voices and all these different things. And then I'm sorry, because then you get these trans men out here who really think they can have a conversation on being a man. You ain't even got no scrotum sack, B. You ain't got no dick. You ain't even got, you still have titties. Stop talking to me. I'd slap the shit out you. Don't. I'm getting hyped up because, I just love to laugh. You know what I'm saying? But the thing about, exactly, and that's the point that I'm trying to say. I'm trying to get to. The point is, quote unquote, be who you are, but don't try to extend that on everybody else like we have to do all that. Just like if I go out in the streets, I'm not going to say to someone who I know is a gay person, I'm not going to tell them, you need to be straight. You need to be with the opposite gender. I'm not going to do that. I'm in no jurisdiction to tell people what to do. I can only give advice. I can only say my perspective. That's it. That's the only thing I can do. Otherwise than that, you on your own, buddy. So that's what you have to, that's what I try to basically extend on these conversations when it comes to that. But there is also a nugget of jewels that I wanted to touch on before I move on in my notes. Because I'm trying to get through this so I can open up the panel. So then it comes to this idea of outside parties coming into the conversation, right? And what I mean by that is, there's a panel that I know of, and when I tried to address this man on a panel, when his divester interrupted me, I didn't get the chance to really say what I had to say. So-called white men getting into this conversation, agreeing with the liberal so-called black woman and the lapdogs of the so-called black woman, aka the subservient so-called black men, I don't understand why they have a business having a conversation about blackness when you was never involved in it. AKA Sean King, mind your business. Because you're not even a so-called black man. You're a so-called white dude. No one cares about your light-skin privilege, that BS you putting on because you working with Black Lives Matter. No one's falling for it, fam. We all know you a so-called white boy. Just like that other chick that's a transracial, and then she wants to sit up there and agree with everything that comes out. The only people who even have a stake in the game to talk about blackness is probably J. Cole, fam. Because he's biracial. Okay? You have no stake in the game to talk about anything, sir. You're just as worse as Vicky. Stop it. So then, these so-called white men, you notice, get into this conversation. They even here on YouTube, they go up on these panels. They say, I don't understand what's wrong with the black man. The black man always wants to complain about how he feels like he's a victim in society. And that the world is against him. And I understand as a white man, my plight and what is it that's going on. But they don't want to take accountability. They're the lowest educated. They don't go to school. They end up in prison. They have high incarceration rates. Oh my God. As a white man, I understand you, black woman. Ding. And it's like, let's not forget that y'all got MGTOW. Let's not forget that y'all got all these so-called white dudes sitting up there going to other countries, smashing on other women, just like so-called black men are. Hello? Like, when I start giving out these statements about so-called white dudes, it's not about giving the statements out because they're white. It's about giving out the statements because they're simps. That's what they are. Simps can be any nationality. It could be a black person who's a simp. It could be an Asian person who's a simp. These people that come to the rescue of the disrespectful, liberal, so-called black woman. Hold on. Thing is, when white people get involved in the black folk convo, women are so thirsty trying to spite black men that they don't see that they're about to get impaled with a 10-foot pole. And the thing about it is, all it is about pandering. Just like with the subservient so-called black dudes that feel like they're so better than everybody just because they have a college degree or they have some type of intellect. And then when they hear from guys like me, they just say, oh, you're from the hood, so you're a pookie. So you have the same exact thoughts of white supremacy and black skin. It doesn't change anything. But getting back to the so-called white dudes that get in this conversation, they are serpents that get in the way, that get to be the ally of the liberal so-called black woman. That's the whole entire thing with these so-called white dudes that get into these conversations. Because I swear on everything, if I had a chance to talk to dude, I'd rip him to shreds. Because he has no business having a conversation about it. Stay with your community. And people need to stop acting like so-called white people don't have problems. They do. Just like any other nation out there have their own problems. And just like how I get upset, off topic for a bit, when we already know that when you have these white people that's $5 Indians sitting up there stealing from the Aboriginal people, none of them even came from America. They were all of them is immigrants. So that is already something I don't like in general. You're not even from here. But somehow you was able to get the benefits of a lie, didn't you? Right. So my thing about it is they come in, they have these conversations, they agree with these bitter so-called black women who's liberal, who's against so-called black men, and then sit up there and say, yeah, you know, they don't do what they're supposed to do. They do this, they do that, they do this, they do that. So we're denying the fact that so-called black men are teachers, own businesses, have never had a jail record, went to college, and all these different things. And they don't have nothing to prove. They're just talking on a soapbox to agree with the so-called black woman because they know that the so-called liberal black woman wants to give them the vagina. That's what it boils down to. This is what they love to do. This is what they love to preach. This is why they do what they do. And it doesn't surprise me. All you gotta ask these dudes is, what's the purpose of you having this conversation if you're not even a so-called black person? You're so-called white. Stay in your lane, sir. Stop all that nonsense. That's my point on that. I'm gonna try to get down to the last bit of my conversation. So then I want to get into this conversation about the white is right trope. And I see it from both sides, right? So you already know on YouTube it's very popular for liberal so-called black women to put the so-called white man on a pedestal, which becomes very banal, unoriginal, trite, and all these different things because it's the same talking points all the time. It never gets nowhere. It's the same exact thing. The so-called white man is better than the black man. It's the same thing. I would like to know how many successful relationships y'all talk about and how many times y'all talk about the same thing when some of y'all are already married and y'all got divorced, some of y'all already have kids, right? And you got pregnant by the wrong guy. And let's not forget the fact of the matter that even when it comes to interracial relationships, there are still so-called white men who abuse so-called black women, who engage in this whole entire practice of slave sex, making a reminder that the so-called black woman is a nigger. Sorry to be that blunt, but it needs to be mentioned. And then you know what it is? They have a soft spots for these dudes. They sit up there and say, no, he's good to me. He's good to me. You know why I say that? Because I can personally tell you, I've had someone come up to me as a so-called black woman and told me she got abused by a so-called white man and had a child with him. And this is not to say that I'm against interracial relationships. I am not against interracial relationships. I just say, if y'all gonna put these dudes on a pedestal, you better make sure that they're your Jesus, and they don't have no mistakes. That they come with all the fixings of being a great man. They don't do nothing racist. They're great. They're Jesus. They're God in your eyes. They're Caesar Borgia, the real so-called Jesus. Okay, that's all it is. So if you're gonna convince me that he's better than me, I better not see no flaws in that man. And oftentimes, you still see flaws in them. Because it's all about trying to put these dudes on a pedestal. They're so great, they're so great. I'm not convinced. And this is the problem with a lot of these liberal so-called black women. A lot of so-called black men don't care. They don't care. And I only made this a topic of conversation because this is related to pro-blacks. This has to be talking about the so-called black community. So I'm getting my shit off when it comes to this conversation. But boo-boo, you ain't impressing nobody. We ain't offended by who you date. We don't care who you date. Whoever you getting the dicking from is none of my business. But for you to sit up there and say that man is better than me, please. I'm the first Aboriginal person on this land, so I can never be offended by some guy who's secondary to me. Yeah, you've been ruling for a couple of 100 years, maybe a couple of centuries, but my people been here. My people been on this earth and been on this land. So you never gonna offend me when there's a copy of the original man right there. You can never do that. Go sit your ass down. Now, this is where you get into the topic of conversation with so-called black men that do this nonsense of putting a white woman on a pedestal. I honestly don't understand it. It's corny, it's cheap, it's whack. My thing is that I say to both parties, find your mate, be happy with them, leave it alone. This is not to say that I do understand that naturally there might be a certain characteristic, facial features of a particular nation that may make you attracted to them. That's fine. That's fine. So-called black men that put up these so-called white women on a pedestal is nothing special to me. There's nothing special to me. Certain times you get these so-called black men that date these white women and put them on a pedestal. They're average at best, or even the fact of the matter that they're fat white women. I'm not impressed by what you're saying to me, bro. And this is not to say that there aren't attractive white women that's in interracial relationships with black guys. There absolutely is, right? And I would never say that there's first of all, let's break it down like this. Each and every nation has attractive people, okay? It doesn't matter if you're so-called black, so-called white, so-called Asian, African, Indian, whatever, the whole 9 yards. Genetics is genetics, right? There's always going to be attractive people no matter what race. That's just the fact of the matter. But this whole entire argument of using so-called white people as a lullaby, as like an alibi to say, this is the reason I can't date you with inside my own race, is complete BS. And I've already seen many times even Asian women talk trash about their own men, okay? There's Asian women that are talk trash about their own Asian men and say that they want to be with a white man. This is what it all boils down to. This is the white man's kingdom. This is a white man's celebration. So I have an understanding that it's cool. He has to pick up a litter to pick any woman he wants. That's fine. But I'm not impressed though. So the so-called black woman going along with white supremacy in order to put that man on a pedestal, I'm not impressed by. And the so-called black man being hurt by the black woman's plight of putting the white man on a pedestal, like, or the white woman on a pedestal, I'm not excited by both at all. It's just kind of like, yeah, I dated them because you hurt me. You hurt me. This is what you did to me. You hurt me. Now they're better than you. And this is the thing. So-called white men have come forward and said that the only reason that so-called black women wanted to date them is because they're white, and they just feel as if like, yo, like, why don't you just date me for me? Same thing that happened with white women. White women feel like, damn, like, I'm not trying to just date you because you're black. I actually like you. Okay? This is the whole entire thing that goes on. You understand what I'm saying? And this is why I just want to make this clear. Like, y'all got to stop that shit. Y'all do it on YouTube. Maybe you do it in real life. Be happy with who you want to be happy with. But the whole entire thing about using these other races, and you always just use the same ones. You always use so-called white people or Latinos. Sometimes you use Asians, but you don't use Asians a lot. Like, expand my world. Show me something I've never been shown before. Show me, if you're going to make me jealous, show me some exotic dude that I ain't never, you know what I'm saying, that I ain't never, peeped before. Show me an Indian guy that's better than me as a so-called black man, a Japanese man or something like that. You know what I'm saying? A Japanese woman or this, that, and the third. I just think it's fruitless. It holds no weight. It holds no value. It's just proving the fact of the matter that you're hurt, that you're bullying, that you're getting bullied, or you feel as if you have to bully each other's genders to make it seem like why this partner is better than you. And I don't really agree with that. So, all right. My last topic of conversation before I drop the link is about the single mother narrative. And this is something that, we grew up in the hood with, black men not being raised with their fathers. Fathers leaves out. The mother decides to raise a child on their own. And, it could be some times where the father takes ownership of trying to take care of the child by himself. Ironically, Kevin Hart is supposed to be coming out with a movie, or I think he probably already did, where it's supposed to be about being a single father. And that media is really has their hands deep in trying to promote the idea. We don't want to see the black man and the black woman together on television. You know what I'm saying? They enjoy the stupid gender war that goes on YouTube or in real life, Instagram, social media, and all these different things. And this is why I try to stay back from these conversations, because it gets nowhere. My thing about it is this: it's always about responsible dating choices. Certain brothers cannot keep their dick in their pants. Certain women cannot keep their vagina in their pants, okay? This is why I say I hold both sides accountable. Y'all have to plan to have a child. Having a child is just not one of these sort of things you could discard and pick it up when you want to. They developed. That's your new legacy, okay? I just don't like this trope, like it's a victim type of mentality with these so-called black women who claim themselves to be single mothers and this, that, and the third, when they have to go online and trash these men online. You understand me? That's not what's up. I'm not with the whole entire trashing online. But single mothers will take time. If you viewed my last video, it was about that. Why is it that y'all got all this time to trash the men that you got pregnant by and say that the dude is not shit? Well, it takes two to tango, right? The kid is in the world. So what happened between you and that man that made you feel as if like the dude ain't shit? Can you explain that to me in simple English? Okay. Well, with that being said, my thing about it is this. I'm definitely going to say there are single mothers out there who did not plan to be single mothers, and they did the best that they can to raise their child. They definitely wanted them to have a father figure or have a man figure in their life. So applause to those women. We don't applaud single mothers that directly try to attack the so-called black man who wants to be in their child's life. So when I sit up there and say that I'm against those type of women, yes, I'm actively against them. Because there's no reason for you to take the father out the picture when he wants to be there for his child. Maybe you guys just don't have the same type of interest in each other like you did, besides having sex, and maybe sometimes it just doesn't work out. Okay, I got you on that. But at the same time, nobody, no party, whether it be the father or the mother, should be exempt from seeing their child. They should always be able to see their child. And then, of course, brothers make references to how the court system is one-sided. How many stories I hear about the fact of the matter when it comes to these situations that, yes, that they directly do this to put the child on put the father on child support. When he's doing everything that he's supposed to do, being stressed out from working 3 to 4 jobs, coming home trying to sleep and trying to have a positive outlook on life, because stuff is hard for him as a so-called black man, right? Everything you do is supposed to go to shit as a so-called black man, no matter what you do. That's the whole entire thing that these certain single moms think about you, man. And this is by no means that I always hold the so-called black men who decide not to be in their child's life accountable. I always do. But how many times it's very common for me to go on social media, especially when they have all these videos of kicking the so-called black man out the house and sitting up there saying, you can't see your child unless I get money, unless I get money, unless I get money. How fucked up is that? I'm just trying to see my son or my daughter. Why would you do that? And with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and drop the link. I think I said all I needed to say. This was me getting my shit off. So I'm going to drop the link. I'm going to play one song and then we can talk afterwards. Hold up.
Yo, L Swift is coming through. MCs check the lyrical. Niggas getting cut off just like they were the umbilical. Check out the style that L Swift be strictly professing. L Swift grabs the microphone, I'm never less than the more. MC sold like a connoisseur. You wanna hang with L Swift, but you don't have no more type of flows, cause I'm blessed. And you know I manifest the styles, cause I am the best. Ripping out on stretch Barbito. MCs know they get ate like Fritos when they try to hang with L Swift. But yo, I'm gonna kick the speed flows like this. MCs know I never miss, cause I kick the clever shit. And you better get out of my face, cause I race like this. MC be trying to miss, but Mr. Voodoo come down with the bliss. Yo, come down one time.
Yeah, last one. Do you think, baby?
Check it out, 1, 2, as we do it like this, and check it out now. Let us begin. Is it live or is it job? I stay on that tail like the state trooper on the Jersey drop. Is it I purify? The nutrients is fortified. Call me the pilot for your ride. Like the tour guide, I show the way. The flows I say make many your protege. Rappers be frontin' when they know they ain't. Homo stay back. I stack G's, so extract these. And you tease out your throat. Kick melodies, the C notes over beats I flow. Like a deceased man, told like an obese man. Teflon coated for your local policeman. Your hoes holding my sausage. I hold the crowd hostage, so put your hands in the air. You've been surrounded. I'm pound for pound of shit. You too counterfeit, the counteract. I feel blood of the whack like Count Drac. And she's be trying to bounce back, but ain't an ounce fat. Sounds fat? Well, kid, you don't even know the half. I'm deep as a vaginal shaft. My deaf and dumb will feel the rap. And papers touched by lithograph. Cool as Miller draft. When it comes to mental faculties, you were understaffed just to thinking of competing with me. Don't
Hey yo, let me your mind when I rhyme. Lyrics disseminate through your mental, they penetrate. Posses disintegrate, so let me demonstrate. Lyrics and grammar I do damage your step, just like my name was David Banner. L Swift is naturally, mentally, and physically fit. Lyrically lit, just with that rhythm Charlemagne hit me with. I stick foes, physically rip shows. L Swift flows in multiple fluctuation, my shit goes. I represent my zip code to the fullest, no bullshit. My mind remain level, never get gassed up. Physically blast up, suckers get cash up quickly. L Swift be making MCs feel trepidation, never decline. I stick to elevation like that, y'all.
Yeah,
Represent the house one
Fortress.
time.
Good afternoon.
Peace. JustHannah, what's going on?
Man, chilling. Seen the BET Awards. That was pretty interesting.
What's your thoughts?
I mean, I tried. I'm too positive. I tried to give people the benefit of the doubt, but there's an agenda going on, and I don't even. First off, is how the hell did Black women become feminists?
That's been for a while.
Really?
We're talking like roughly 40 to 50 years now. Even if the Black woman claims that she's not a feminist, she's been heavily rooted in it. You know.
Interesting. And I just want to piggyback on what you said about I'm noticing, even with my friends and a relative like who had a baby young, there's a lot of how do you say it? I don't know. I wanted to ask you this. So, do you think because I believe a lot of men are honest, and if they say they don't want to be with you, they don't want to be with you, or they're not ready to settle down. But you have women where, that they think that that they're different, and when they do get pregnant, they think that be quiet. This is mine. Go away. They take that and run with it and think, oh, the child. If I have their child, that they're gonna be with me, type of thing. And we have that in our community a lot, and they become bitter because they realize that the baby is not going to change them. Doesn't bring the relationship closer, or it doesn't turn into marriage. It just turns into confusion. So my question is, I don't even know. I didn't even know feminism in the Black community was like that. Like, even like when Queen Latifah, because she became some type of, I don't know. Is she a lesbian?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't understand that. Like, that's when like there's an agenda. Because I'm noticing a lot of even Missy Elliott. I believe is she a lesbian too? Like,
Missy Elliott came out like last year or a year before.
Yeah, so there's a movement going on, and that Lil Nas shit that he said. You heard what Lil Nas said, right?
What did he say?
He said, we're emasculating. What did he say? He said, hold on. I wrote it down. It said, he said, we're causing emasculation of men all 2021.
Yeah, he's trolling. He's that, like I said.
Ara Lee 44 said it, but I had written down what he said, and that was Riley. Just like, whoa.
Yeah. My thing about it is with him though, like I said earlier, he's a contrarian. He's naturally a troll, and my only question of him, because in one of the videos I did, I said he was on IG claiming that he's not a homosexual. So why is it that you say all this and you do all these stunts, but you're claiming not to be a homosexual?
Exactly.
So it's like contradictory. Like,
and I'm noticing there's a lot of bitterness with Black women, and I'm noticing a lot that, because at the end of the day, I know it takes two, but you have a mind, and it's important for you to be educated in the fact that if a guy says, and then they get mad at men, like, okay, let me slow down. Okay, I'm going to use me for an example, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say I'm dating a guy. He's telling me, I'm not really ready to settle down. I think you're an amazing person, but I'm not ready to settle down. I take it and I go, that's it.
Right.
But some of these girls in fact, look at Chris Brown and Rihanna. Let's give that for a moment.
Oh shit.
He's young. He's a young bachelor, and he has the world at his feet. So he attempted the relationship. Now, if he cheated, there's no reason to put your hands on him. There's no reason to throw things. There's no reason for any negative comments. Just leave him. That's it. Mm-hmm. But we have a lot of Black women where they don't understand. Like, they'll say, oh, well, I'm the best you ever had and the best you ever going to get. And it's just like, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot. I don't know.
And with that, like, I agree with you, right? Because then what it makes me think about is because, you know, they always try to tie stuff to movies and all these different things that have nothing to do with real life. So then they'll sit up there and say, well, you remember Diary of the Mad Black Woman, right? And it'd be like, well, that's pushing the net. And then The Color Purple with Danny Glover's character. And they'll try to say, yeah, black men abuse us. Black men abuse us.
You know what I'm saying?
And it's like, I have never abused no woman in my relationship. Never.
Even with like men not wanting fat women. Oh well, you know, it's like it's always something. I feel like women don't want honesty. No. I don't feel like they're ready for it, because if they was, like, even if a guy, because I take it or leave it. If somebody don't want to be with me, that's perfectly fine. I'm not, you know, oh, you know, there's plenty fish in the sea. I'm not like that. It's just, it's not working. He's not ready. That's it.
Right.
So if you coming in and then the whole child support thing, I don't understand it either. Because if the man's telling you he don't want to be with you, but he want to take responsibility, what's wrong with child support? Like, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to use that. That's personally for me. If y'all two individuals and we grown adults and we can't sit at the table and be like, okay, well, I need this and this for diapers, and then, like, for Summer, you heard about Summer Walker? She wants this big amount that I'm pretty sure either it's in his savings account or he doesn't make that like every time. It doesn't matter how much money he makes. And even, you know, the game, he said something interesting, like, this isn't about the baby mama. Yeah, that's the mother of their kid, but you shouldn't need child support to take care of you and the baby. It shouldn't be like that. Diapers don't cost $50,000 or $100,000 or $120,000, Summer Walker said, a month just to take care of a baby. I mean, unless you're putting that towards his college, but, you know, it's a lot. I don't feel like black women are ready. You know, there's a lot of immaturity. There's not a lot of growth in the black community when it comes to black women, because it's infatuation going on. You know, like, bitches be infatuated with nigga just because he laid down the dick good, or you know, like, you know what I'm saying? It's not. I don't believe black women are ready for honesty.
No, they're not.
You know, I know this might sound weird coming from me, but I kind of understand where Samuel, whatever his name is coming from. Now, I don't fuck with Tommy Sotomayor. I think he's on a different planet. Like, he was not born on Earth. Okay? Now, I'm not for him, but, you know, like, even with some of the girls, and I'm not being judgmental. At the end of the day, we live in a society where everybody's judgmental.
No, speak your piece.
Because what I'm saying is, some of these girls, I mean, she wasn't even cute. Talking about, I want a man who makes $500,000. He needs to take me to Cancun and this and this. And no, I'm not.
Wait, JustHannah. Who was that? Who was that you was referring to? Who?
It was this lady.
Not the average at best girl.
Huh? Did you remember?
The average at best girl?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, like, I'm gonna let you have it.
No, you do it. You do it. I wouldn't do it.
See, you gotta put me on the spot. I mean, look, my thing about it with the average at best girl, I can just tell that she had confidence issues. And, you know, a lot of people don't like that, because usually what happens is they don't... Like, this is the problem with women, and JustHannah, you know, this is true as a woman, right? Y'all stick up for the ugly women, all right? That y'all won't, like, y'all not gonna tell y'all friend, you know, she ugly, or a fellow woman you don't know, that she's not attractive, unless y'all about to get into a fight, right? And my thing about it is, with the average at best woman, she claimed to be average at best. She called herself a 5, right? Now, the thing about it is, it's like a lot of people took that clip of the video and tried to say, Kevin Samuels hates women.
Exactly.
He hates black women. And it's like, no, you're not listening to the video. It's about a realistic view. A bachelor is usually not going to want to date a single mother. They're not. Exactly. And if they do, if she's young and if she's attractive, then they're more than likely just going to want to have sex with her and that's it. They're not going to really take a single mother that serious for an actual relationship.
You know, everybody wants to sugarcoat and paint and put confetti over the single mothers, but at the end of the day, there's people out here. It doesn't have to be a 5-figure guy. Like, there's people out here who accept the stepfather role. But if a guy doesn't want to be with someone who has kids, that's his prerogative. I mean, why are you knocking that? Just like when bitches be like, oh, which I used to be one. I want a man with an 8-inch and bigger. Like, first off, not even everyone is 8 inches. Okay, from my experience. But you know, at the end of the day, we are judgmental people. You know, even animals. Like, I forgot. It was a bird. I forgot which bird it was. And if she seen one of her babies that came out the egg sick, you know, she'd knock it out of the tree.
Damn, for real?
Yeah, I forgot. I'm gonna find it, Brown bro. I swear to God, it was a bird. She's a female too. And then there was another.
Is it like some type of hawk or something? See, JustHannah. See, JustHannah is trying to make me blush because she's bringing up bird references. I appreciate that.
Nah, but
Like,
it was another one where the guy, when he's mating, if he leaves the bird, the female bird, and see if she can survive the winter, and if she does, he'll go back with her. But if she doesn't, he'll fly to a new nest. Now, if their life as animals, you know, even though they don't have a brain, or like they have a brain, but they don't have more like a conscious like we do. Like,
you stop. Whoa, JustHannah, slow down. Don't be bird shaming around here. Animals have brains. All right,
okay, they do have brains, but if they stick to what they know, it's the same thing with us. Same thing. For example, a guy, right, fresh out of college, he's making 6 figures, even for an internship, and he comes out. You think he gonna be checking like, oh baby, you got a babysitter? Ain't nobody gonna be checking for that. He gonna want to roam, live his life, want a younger girl. There's nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with that. But all this craziness going on and bitterness and oh you black man, that's terrible. That's terrible.
I like that.
It shouldn't even be like that, because I'm sorry, but we live, you know, the world we live in. I mean, I think I see what you're talking about. Like, it's too many movies out. Like, people are really like not understanding this is an act. This is just a show. But real life, it don't work like that. Either you ugly. It is what it is. But we're not gonna sit up here and say that like black men are judgmental. It's not only black men, it's you too.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, think about the ignorance. Some people can't even handle. I don't know. I wouldn't know, but some people couldn't even handle 8 inches. You know what I'm saying? Like, some of the stuff we say is just like,
it's over the top. Like,
it's over the top.
Yeah, it's a projection. Yeah, for sure. Hey, Demetris, what's going on, man? Give your word in, bro.
What's up, bro? It just started storming all of a sudden.
Damn.
Yeah, it went like from super hot to just like super wet outside.
And that's how you know the word is coming out. That's how you know it's coming out. Nah, go ahead, bro.
But yeah, what I was saying in the chat was, what was happening with Cynthia G and Zayn is like a prime example. It's like the black woman saying, shoot him. But the white man's standing behind her, and she doesn't notice that he's aiming the gun at the back of her head, trying to hit 2 birds with 1 bullet. Basically, he's trying to take you out and take the black man out too.
Perfect.
Right, exactly.
So it
like, she's expecting a prize from killing the black man, you know, and thinking that he's just going to like.
And sometimes they see it and they're fine with it, as long as they get taken out too.
Right. so that she can get the grand treatment, and like the Disney movie, the glass slippers on her feet by going ahead and killing the black man. That's what
Yep.
happens. That's exactly what all it is, and it's pretty sad. And then going to all that, well, to because this really got to me, because I always advocate black men need to remain in their masculinity. Just the fact of the matter, you got all these weird ass shows out here like P Valley, for example. P Valley
I do
is
not know what it is, but from what I've heard about it from HBCU Confessions, I don't want to.
I haven't seen the show, but I've seen like the previews, little clips that they had or whatever, and like it was just really disturbing. Like you have a dude in drag, and then it's supposed to be about the stripper lifestyle and culture, and then there's just this one video, not saying that they actually put it on there, but it's stimulating the idea. It's a man jerking off some another guy in drag in a car. How disturbing is that shit?
And then have you guys seen A-Rod? I don't know. I feel
No.
like he's gonna come out soon, because concealer really for men, ain't nobody buying that shit.
Look,
Unless
what's
you
worse
gay.
right now? What's worse right now? What is it? Tyler the Creator. Tyler the Creator out here now sitting up there talking about all these crushes he had on men, right? And then, like a lot of these dudes, and then Kid Cudi finally gave his confessional on why he wore the dress at the awards, man. Like
Wait, Kid Cudi wore a dress?
Hannah,
Yeah,
man,
you didn't see it?
Wait, let me Google. For real?
It was a
he
tight
wore,
one too.
He wore a dress
Real
at the
Talk
SNL.
Reality something. That woman, she did a video on it. I saw it and I was like, oh Lord.
Yeah, Kid Cudi was supposed to be giving contributions to Kurt Cobain at the SNL. He did it at the SNL performance. Yeah.
Oh,
And
ew! What the fuck?
and then this is what I'm saying. Like a lot of these dudes, I don't get it, because you understand that the so-called black man is usually the basis for masculinity and strongness. So you see these dudes out here wearing all this nail polish. This is embarrassing, because then you see Tyler the Creator wearing what was it? Blue nail polish, and I'm just sitting here like, what the fuck, bro? Like, what are you doing? This is some odd shit that's going on, man.
Yeah, there's something
you can't be
going
gangster, or you can't be real masculine in a dress, man. You can't do that.
What the hell?
And this is what's going on.
See, I saw like other videos talking about that, and what they're trying to do is they're trying to like separate one's appearance from their behaviorisms. They were trying to say, doesn't matter what your exterior looks like, you can still be masculine and wear a dress.
Yeah, they're redefining what masculinity is. You understand?
Yeah, that white chick Lacey Green. She was the meme that was talking about there are 4 genders, 5 genders, 75 genders, and she was explaining how masculine. Yeah, she was explaining how masculinity is trying to evolve right now, and I was like,
Ew.
and I was like, well, we need to. If you ever play Pokemon, you give the Pokemon the Everstone so it never evolves. We need to give masculinity the Everstone.
Nah, it's over. I wish my nigga would. I'ma look at you. I'm be like, yeah, it's done. Lose my number, homie.
He's like, nah, son, kick rocks, yo.
That's crazy.
You take the subway all
Wait,
by
Kurt
yourself,
Cobain
nigga.
wore a dress too? What the fuck?
Kurt Cobain wore a dress in like one of his videos back in like the early 90s. Yeah.
Ew.
He wore a dress. And then he wore that. Wait, I thought Kurt Cobain wore a dress to the MTV Awards in 1992. I think he did.
Ew.
He did. He wore a dress. He wore a dress to one of the awards. I know he did. But yeah, that's the whole entire thing about redefining what masculinity is. And then they try to tell you all this weird ass shit like, oh, well, it's not really gay if you have sex with a man, because if you think it's gay, it's gay. But if it's not gay, it's gay.
Oh
Yeah.
no!
They say shit like
that's some troll stuff.
Listen, bro. It's like what I said on one of the streams. they have something called a bro job, where when your friend is in heat, that you give him a blowjob as your bro. That is
What?
homosexual.
What?
Yeah, they try to redefine. I did a video on it. They're trying to redefine what it is, and then they sit up there and say all these micro words like trans attracted, and now they redefining what straight is. You understand? They're sitting up there saying that you can go out with a biological woman and go out with a trans. That does not make that means you're just straight. The loophole is just the loophole.
But that's not a biological man, though. That, you know what? I don't want to talk about that shit. That's crazy.
Oh crap! The streets are flooding.
Hi guys, did you guys hear about the new pajamas? It's called the butt.
What?
Wait, Rihanna came out with these pajamas, and shit, I might get one.
Here we go.
It's called the buttless leggings.
Hannah, you know you're gonna buy her joint. You gonna get the bra and panties. Say you gonna get the pajamas. You know
Nah, the buttless. Come on, ain't nobody. Who am I entertaining? No. But it was a big, like, everything, and then they were it was this gay guy who did it, and it was like yes, and I was like ooh.
You did what?
He wore them like outside.
Yeah, like you know the Pride Parade just happened. They did all that fuck shit
Oh,
down there.
maybe that's why. Oh, I didn't know.
Washington Square Park. They had all that stuff go on, and they have those dudes out there that be like so nasty ass white man. Oh God, it's disgusting because it feels like you just got mooned. So in fact, the matter is, this dude wear this BDF suit, shit, whatever it is, and then you're walking by your business, right? And the dude just got his ass cheeks out, and you just sit up there like, bro, seriously?
No, but like, are guys into that though? Like,
what do you
into
mean,
what?
guys? Into what?
No, not you. No, not you. Not in that gay guy. I'm talking about in buttless. It's just the crack, like it's like laced up where the butt is, and the crack is out. So
I don't. What leggings?
Yeah, they're supposed to be like lingerie, like
Hannah. If the only thing, well, I can only say from experience, I like women in thongs. If that's, I mean, we don't need to do all the other buttless leggings. Thongs.
Yeah,
is
like
fine.
I'm just.
You like them in
They was
thongs?
like, yeah.
Yes, I do.
They better wash that butt good, cause they
Oh,
have dookie
Mom,
on it.
stop. No one does. You gotta walk. We know that's obvious.
Thongs is fine.
I'm
Slit.
sorry. I want to say hello to everybody. I don't like thongs and lingerie because you freeze at night. You be cold as hell.
No, but it's
Listen,
hot.
save them on a special occasion, though. You understand?
Even at a special occasion, it's cold.
Listen, make sure that heater is on. You understand? Go to a room where it's warm.
Yeah, but you know, you do try to please your man.
I wish my nigga
Give each
would
other-
wear a dress.
yeah.
I'm gonna look at him. I'm gonna be like, yeah, it's time to go. Please.
See, that's what
God.
they do. Especially usually wearing a dress or they wearing nail polish. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really weird nowadays. Like, these dudes is on a whole different type of level. And I just keep it simple. I said if I'm accentuating my hand, I wear rings. There's nothing wrong with wearing rings as a man. But wearing nail polish, bro. And then wearing, like, let me say this, because now they redefine this whole entire masculinity again, and this is why I had a conversation about this concept called femboys. Femboys is that thing, and then it's like y'all think about Prince back in the 80s.
Oh yeah.
About how they had that term, what you would call it?
What is it?
Androgynous.
Yeah.
Androgynous in the 80s. That was androgynous. And then it was just a queer movement in the 90s. And then it just proliferated more into the 2000s. But then it just got widespread out by like the 2010s. Because Tumblr just started putting out all these random ass like genders. Listen up there saying this gender, this gender, this gender. Masculinity. What is masculinity? But toxic masculinity is like, the fuck, yo? Like, no.
But the women are held should be held and somewhat accountable because they run with these gay men and they giggle with them and act crazy with them. at the end of the day,
they be after your nigga.
I don't snap my finger and do all of that. I'm a classy lady. I don't have to snap my finger and smack my lips and all that craziness. It's ignorance. So I think that, you know, women, being that they're the mothers and the first teachers, and not a lot of women understand that. That's why I want to just make this comment about the big penis concept. That's foolishness. When you looking for a man with a big penis, 9 times out of 10, if he know he got a big penis, he a hoe. So he gonna be all over the place. He may not have the ability to sit still. But if you look for love and integrity and class and someone that want to work, then you looking for something that's going to be sustainable over the years.
Right.
So, you know, because a big penis, I had a guy that had a big penis and I walked out. And he ended up dying with HIV because women love that. They like, they get all excited. But it's a flip side to fornication, according to the Bible. And you're going to go to hell for that. Not only are you going to hell, but you're going to go through hell, because that's a big thing to have to insert in you and you know, go through the emotions and the throb and the thrust. When you keep trying to have that all the time, it ain't going to happen. I know, because his brother used to tell me, and they Christians, he was having problems with that, with his wife. So, you know, this concept that these people, I want to be, no. Get you a man that got a job, that want to love you and treat you with respect. When you can get that, baby, please, sky's the limit.
See, and then everything balances out.
And you know what's crazy?
Right.
The whole queer movement, you know how it's evil, because they feed off, they think it's cute, and they feed off of shit when, you know, like they fool someone. Like, remember I told you, Brownsboro, about that trans girl that was at my school, and she was going around after I told her no, and then I wasn't interested, and I don't feel comfortable being her friend anymore. She went around the whole school making everybody laugh at me, talking about how she ate me out and all this weird, crazy. Yeah, I had to go to the guidance counselor, and I wanted to tell my mom, but I was really like, I was embarrassed. Like, it was a very like weird situation to be in. And after she did that, she had the nerve to see me on the street and say she apologized and all this dumb shit. And you know, it shows you what the agenda is and the movement of it. It's evil, because
it is.
Even the gay guys, they be talking about how
they be women.
They be flirting with straight guys, and they be wanting them to beat their ass, but they might like it or something. You know, like their agenda. Even with trans women, like when Young Ma, the last girl she was with, she left her to be with a man, and she started talking about how her coochie was whack, and you know,
that's just her perspective. But this is why I say, and Demetris, you did touch on a good point. I just seen what you said. Nobody wants to address the toxic femininity. I'm gonna get to that. But the thing about it is, people, I hate this victim complex with a good amount of these gay men, because they act as if they don't be trying to be disrespectful and holler at you on the streets. Like I said before, I see gay men have hit on me a couple of times, and it's just been kind of like disrespectful. Like, dude, like, all you have to do is say that I'm an attractive guy. Okay, fine. That's fine. But you're going a little bit too far with the lewd comments. And it's like, if I really was out my right mind, I'd smack the shit out you.
Exactly. And then they put words in your mouth talking about how you hate gay people. It's not hate. It's just the majority of the world ain't like that. And then they trying to confuse animals, talking about how this animal's gay, and like, bro, what is wrong with you?
They try to relate.
Like, the animals know what they doing. Don't try that.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the problem with it. But Demetris, I want to get you the whole thing about toxic femininity or whatever, because that's an important
level up
conversation.
movement.
Yeah.
In a nutshell,
luxury
toxic
movement.
femininity.
Luxury
entitlement
movement
to your resources, to what you can produce for them.
Okay. So since we have a woman on the panel, and I guess that's the mom that's in the back, I would like to know, what do you think about the concept of self-love in this generation when it comes from women? What do y'all think about the self-love concept?
Well, it depends. Like, what's been paraded around?
Like it's being heavily promoted, like self-love. You don't need no man. You can go on vacation, enjoy yourself. You can have your girls trip.
Oh yeah, that's that, and this is what I was telling my mom about. Like, it's bitterness is being mixed with self-love, that body positivity type thing. Like, even Lizzo, when she came out, she went to that basketball game. She had the crack of her ass out. Like, that shit, first off, that wasn't even appeasing. I can understand if you had a body like Rihanna or Beyonce or Ruby Rose. No, but I'm just saying, like, it was disgusting to see. And she talking about she was inspired by Rihanna. But bro, you don't look like Rihanna. So you coming out your house, you only why y'all body shaming me? You shaming yourself.
Well, I think as a I'm 58, so I'm gonna just tell you, and
he said, what do you think about self-love?
I'm gonna tell you, okay. It's self-love is a form of rebellion against the will of God. God ordained man and woman for a reason. God commanded us to replenish the earth, right? So we need each other. We're here to help each other. When Noah went in the ark, it was male and female of every kind.
Right.
So this self-love is promoted by the demonic agenda that they have to deny God. That's why you have men going in the rectum of the women, and then they downplay homosexuality and criticize gays when they are bisexual. And what happens with the black man when they perform those types of acts, they deny God because they become an abomination. And no matter what the world tell you, you have to answer to God for that behavior. Right. So this self-love thing is saying, I don't need you. And you know, it's a white concept because they're diabolic, demonic worshipers. And it's all about pride and elevation and self-preservation, no matter what, by any means necessary. So I think that it's a tragic concept for the black man because we are united. We're divided as it is. But when you get a man and a woman pulling together and making and procreating and making babies, you get a strong kingdom amongst yourselves in the sight of God. That's why, you know, a lot of kids feel rejection and frustration, and they're under anxiety and confused. Yeah, because there's so many concepts out in the world right now that people don't really understand that it's not by might and it's nor by power, but it's by the Spirit of God. And so what's happening is they're using the celebrities to promote these genders. They're all segregated into certain umbrellas of a gender. If you notice, Rihanna had the umbrella. So you go under those certain umbrellas and you promote that agenda. You know, going from husband to husband, leaving your husband to be with a woman, all those things. Look at Mary J. They convinced her she was gay. Just craziness, and she gifted to sing. And they shutting her down. And then they mad with Monique because Monique is crazy. And she's talking. She's not crazy in a bad way, but she's crazy to them because she's opening her mouth. And they don't want a nigga to talk. They want a nigga to shut up and do what they told. So it's a tragic thing. What I would suggest for everybody on the panel is to stay focused on who you are as a human being and try to get with somebody that respects you as the head, because you will leave. The male is supposed to lead. It's not that we're less than a woman. It's just that we're more, we're multitaskers, and we've been ordained to be the first teachers. So our children need us at home. I stayed home for 9 years with my kids. You know what I'm saying? My daughters was virgins up until late teens, going in the 20s, because I instilled in them self-respect, not self-love, but self-respect. Because you can love yourself and don't have self-respect.
That's true.
When you respect yourself, it's a difference than when you love yourself. Now, if you mean love yourself, masturbate and all that, that's a part of the demonic umbrella. But when you say respect yourself, you're not going to allow any and everything to come to you. You're going to conduct yourself as a lady or a man. You're going to wear your pants appropriately, and you're going to dress in appropriate attire so that you can attract that type of individual that will be conducive to your lifestyle and what you know and where you want to go in life. You understand? Now, for me, it's hard because the family blended concept, I'm going to get off it, but I'm just want to bring it together. These men, they going in the rectum. Everybody, ain't no sex. This concept is deadly. and so
Wait. I
now
want to
he's
pause it for a second, not to interrupt.
I'm sorry.
Anal sex, and also the concept of eating the groceries, which goes to the concept of odontology. You know what
Right.
odontology is?
No, tell me.
Odontology is ass worship.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's a form of a demon. That's a demonic position.
Right.
You know, so I'm gonna close it, and I'm just going to say that I teach my daughters, to carry themselves with respect, and then you think about how I dress. You don't see me walk around like that, and I always check them, even now.
That's good.
But you have to really, really fight through all. It's like a rubbish, garbage all over the place, and you got to swim through it and keep your integrity and your mental stability so that you can maintain the what do you call it? The pink salmon concept. You know what that is? You going against the grain. The pink salmon is high in antioxidants and amino acids, but you going upstream while everybody going in the other direction.
Yeah.
And then the thing about the whole self-love thing, first off, it's a movement by the devil, definitely, because his thing is do what thou wilt, and self-love is selfish, it's entitled, it's you owe me something, it's not thinking about others. That's not what God wants. God wants us to help each other. God wants us. There's not now self-respect. I understand that, but all this, like, even with Amber Rose and this slut walk, this ain't about a movement of unity. This is about her, about what Kanye did to her that hasn't forgotten, that she hasn't been healed of, and she's exploiting all these women. First off, I can understand if you was gonna create a slut walk and throw in some sex education. I don't see her passing out condoms and shit and birth control, because they gonna need it, and they can pass out some Bibles and some heartbreak classes, because they're gonna need that shit too. So it's self-entitled, it's selfishness. That's not self-love.
Right.
Because love doesn't judge, it's unity, it helps others. That's not self-love.
It's total opposite, and that's why we get to this concept now of the left and the right path. People have to understand, because I said, the thing about it is, if we're relating it to the spiritual aspect, the Most High definitely sets tests. You know what I'm saying? And the thing about it is also getting to this concept as well. Demons are real. Demons are definitely real.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't understand. Even if we all from New York, we're basically from New York. Yeah. Well, I mean, binary. We talk about an array of topics. It's not necessarily that. But the thing about it is that a lot of people, when you walk around New York, I've gotten to the point I could look at the soul of people in their eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That the fact of the matter that sometimes a lot of people who speak out loud, this is why I got into the concept of dimensions. Certain people can only accentuate themselves to a certain threshold. Right. And the thing about it is, what that is, again, you got certain people out here who's filled with a demonic spirit. Yeah. And certain people out there who are undercover angels, but you don't realize that. That's why you call them crazy. That's why you call them crazy, because certain people are not able to attain that threshold of understanding. So that's why people be like, oh, well, you crazy, or something's wrong with you, or you're a conspiracy theorist. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because they're not able to look at the stuff inside of what that person is talking about or obtain that knowledge. And of course, you have to make a discernment between who you know is giving you that type of energy that is negative, or who's giving you that type of energy which is positive. Right. You have to make the discernment on that. That's why it's a big deal, and why I try to say you have to study or understand the left or the right path. God only sets tests for people. Right. That's all it is. Sets tests. I'm gonna pause for a second. I'm gonna get something real quick. Demetris, you got a word on it, and y'all conversate. I'll come right back.
Well, I mean, that was really the whole point of me making that statement in the chat. Like, the whole self-love thing, I think you're minimizing things down to self-work, and it's trapping if people were to fully take your advice, you would trap them in a perpetual state of self-work where they're continuously working on themselves. Not necessarily that that's a bad thing, but they're so obsessed with working on themselves but that they don't want to take a chance at anything.
Exactly. And
And
then
so, yeah, I was watching Real Talk with Yanni. There was this girl named Steph Cole talking about how she'll never have kids because men don't find her attractive. She dates out already. And Yanni was saying, well, she doesn't love herself. She just needs to work on herself. And I was heated because instead of actually giving her advice to put that woman in front of men that will actually give her a chance, she was just minimizing it down to self-work. No, this woman just needs to go around people who will give her a chance and will actually get to know her, not just mistreat her or try to use her. You know what I'm saying?
exactly. Because I feel like all of these women are stuck in these mirages. Like, some man gonna sweep them off their feet, 6 figures, and it's crazy. And all these it talks about it in the Bible, all these prophetess when they really from the devil. Like, none of them are leaders. Even this other girl that I was watching, she said she was a Christian, and she talks about how Lori Harvey is how do you call it, a feminine woman, and how to be like her, when Lori Harvey's jumping from man to man. So you can't, there's no leaders
I
out
know
here.
Chrissy was hyping her up.
You seen that too?
Yeah, I saw
I
Chrissy
seen
hyping her up. She was like, this is hypergamy in silence. And I was like, God dang.
that. Like, and I don't know if I'm not going to judge Lori Harvey. I don't think she's a hoe or anything, but that's definitely not she. She's a pretty girl. Of course, she's going to attract that, but you're advising average to lower 3 women looks in the looks department that they can have the same thing, when that's not realistic in real life. At the end of the day, we're all about looks. People can say whatever they want, and because at the end of the day, even if that person's ugly to you, that might be an attractive person to someone else.
Exactly.
So
Because
True.
with that Yanni video, some of the people were saying she ain't all that, but I was saying, all right, I'd shoot my shot. So,
you
so
see what
that that's the
you, but
that's
you
the
see the
point of it.
bitterness is what I was talking about. Like, even when you go, I was at Rainbows, right? And it was this beautiful girl, and I was like, oh my God, you're so beautiful. And this fat stomach looking girl, she can't, like, she literally cursed me out. Talk about, well, she was in my way. She ain't all that. And I just looked at her, and I was just like, you
Insecure.
know what I'm saying? It's really tragic, but this is the life we live in. Like, not everybody. She was very attractive. She had this huge. Y'all know how I feel about booties. I mean, y'all know I'm straight, but she had this. Oh my gosh, she was gorgeous, like real hair. You know what I'm saying? But this is the reality we live in. Like,
Yep.
they're gonna
And
be
the
attracted
thing about Chrissy is, and Pink Pill is, when I was in high school, like eighth, ninth grade, my friend, she's still my friend to this day. She was listening to them. So it's like you're not only advising older women on how to date, you're advising like young girls as well.
to,
So
you know,
it was just startling to me.
it is. And all these leaders, and they talk about how to be feminine, and and not masculine. Like, all these beautiful channels, how to be ladies. Like, they're being bombarded by all these city girls and Meg the Stallion bitches. Like, oh well, what man gonna want you dressing like a grandma? First off, skirts been out for years, for centuries. Like, And they were talking about how for Catholic school girls, they up. I don't know if you guys know, but the measurement is not over the knee. It's below the thigh now. So they raised it for the Catholic girls. And Erykah Badu came out and she was like, bring it back down to the knee movement. And basically that was basically about the Catholic girls school, because her girls go to Catholic school. And she talk about how the uniform change and it's upping viewership for perverts and predators for the young girls. So there were all these city girl comments to talk about, well, she got some nerve to talk, because y'all remember that butt naked movement Erykah Badu did. They was like, wow, well, how she got some nerve talking about that when she went out with butt naked. First off, that it was what it was, but she did say that she regrets doing that. And people learn, she probably did it for attention, I don't know, but it was this whole big thing of all these city girls. They was just like, women are beautiful and you can't stop them from being beautiful and all this stupid shit. And that's not even the point of the problem. The problem is these little girls, these teenagers, they shouldn't have skirts up the thigh, like below the thigh. Like that shouldn't even be a measurement. For years it was below the knee. Like, even at jobs, you don't see women with skirts high below the thigh. You don't see that shit. So
it's a change now because of the fact of the matter, when you're dealing with a whole entire society that's cool with just the idea of sexual liberation. A lot of women always claim this idea of self-respect and all these different things, but you're literally going out here looking like a hoe. And the thing about it is, as a man, I'm going to look. Okay? Like, my thing about it is, let's be honest. Us as men, we are visual creatures. It is in our innate nature to look at women when they... It doesn't even matter. Just at the end of the day, men are going to look at women regardless. That's just how it is. So I don't understand when women get upset. Oh, why y'all gotta look at us and this and that. Now I understand certain brothers or certain men may say very inappropriate comments, even if you're just wearing a regular outfit. Yes, but the thing about it is that women is cool with nowadays dressing in these high ass skirts when you can see their panties or their thongs, and they have no care in the world. If a guy sit up there and smack your ass and stuff like that, you'll sit up there and say that's sexual harassment. But do you understand the energy you just gave when you came outside your door with that on? Now, it's 97 degrees outside. I didn't sat up there and went out today into the fucking Bronx, and guess what I saw? A whole bunch of shorties out there with tank tops on, with their nips out. With their nips out. You understand? And then what that cause? Men that be sitting up there trying to holler.
Even Amber Rose did some stupid shit like that, and he was like, "You have a perspective." One of the callers that called them up, he told her, he was like, "I hate to burst your bubble, but you have a perspective of a stripper of no class. So you telling girls that they could come outside half naked and have a good time without being, catcalled by predators. You're asking for it." Right. And she's like, "Oh, well, it's my body, and if I want to come out with a thong and little tank top, that's my opinion." He was like, "No, but you're not understanding what I'm saying. You have a perspective of a stripper. You got to understand it." Because he was like, "You have kids?" She was like, "I have 2 boys." He was like, "You're not going to understand it because you didn't have a girl yet," which he said, God, that's probably one of the reasons why God didn't give her one, because he said, you wouldn't like your daughter coming outside like that.
And you know what's crazy about that? It reminded me of Jesse Lee Peterson, because for some odd reason I think he'd be trolling, but it's like one of those type of things. He say things that you think is funny, but he'd be serious. And the thing about it is, it's like she's trying to answer all these questions, and she's just like, so what, so what? He's like, that makes you a slut. That makes you a slut. Well, it makes you a slut maker. You understand? My thing about it is, at the end of the day, I feel sorry for like women like you, other women out here who have respect about themselves, because y'all are like the anomaly now. Men are not going to want to pay, like people are not going to want to take y'all serious because they're so enrooted with this slut shit. And that the fact of the matter, even when it comes to this whole concept of today with the OnlyFans and all that dumbass shit, nobody cares. You know what I'm saying? Everything is so fast paced. I can go on OnlyFans right now, see a woman make a subscription, and jerk off to the fact of the matter that she sit up there putting all those videos online. What am I getting out of it? Not a goddamn thing.
It's a fact. And then even my friend, like, first off, she's underage, and anytime somebody's underage, I don't give a fuck if I don't know you or not. I'm gonna give you the proper advice that I was brought up with, because at the end of the day, you can make money on OnlyFans, but ain't nobody gonna respect you. You can't put that shit on a resume, so you might as well give it up. So she got this tranny, that she's friends with. He's hyping her up, talk about, oh, she just jealous. I said, I'm not jealous of her.
Jealous of what?
I'm more than her. Because she
what,
had
nigga?
posted, let me tell y'all, she posted a picture on OnlyFans, and that nigga followed her home. So I'm telling you, like, I'm not doing this to be nasty. I don't give a fuck what you do. It's your life. But no one's gonna respect you. OnlyFans, you make money and do all this shit, and then you doing this shit for like $24.99. Like, it ain't worth it. No money in the world. Even if it was $1 million, it still wouldn't be worth it.
$24.99 for the news.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. They be hyped too. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's $19.99 a month. Even Trisha paid this. Like,
Trisha paid,
and then they be giving them discounts. Like, y'all look like cheap merchandise.
you look like cheap ass clothes.
$1 million, like how that other girl, I think her name is Bella something. But it's even her prescription. It was for a month, but it's just the more creators you have, the more money you get. But that shit is cheap.
I was gonna say it's cheap as those damn clothes on Fordham Road.
Exactly. I was just gonna say that, yo.
Antisocial. Erica Badu, and she's selling yoni candles. I heard something like they sell like pussy candles or something like that out there, man. This world's a fucking mess, yo. And then on the men's side, you got men out here.
Is that to clean out the vagina?
No, like something like you could literally get the scent of pussy, Then you have this Joker. What's his name? That dude, Safari, who's always bragging about his dick, and I think he's supposed to. They said that they made a mold of his joint, and then he's out there advertising that shit. I mean, honestly, it just starts to become so annoying how this world is filled with sex. It's just like, all right.
It is. And it makes me, and people be asking me, oh, well, how you a virgin? I'm like, everyone's doing it. Like, it's crazy. Like, and it makes me, it turns me off. I don't even think about porn. Like, I don't think about sex at all no more, because it's like, I see it every day. Your face. What you say?
You're desensitized. That's how this culture works.
Look. Listen, real quick. It's just like, and children see this shit. It's just like the other day when I went down to the Lower East Side to go to the Trader Joe's out there. They have a bus poster selling fucking panties and the thongs and all that other stuff. You have to understand from a subconscious point. The thing about it is, yeah, at the matter and at the stake, you're selling a product, right? But it's still instituting the idea of over-sexualization. Now, the thing about it is also with the men's side, you see these men out here, depending on what neighborhood in Manhattan you're in, then these dudes are sitting up there with their shirt off. They have these short shorts, or they have those jock straps or whatever. Some gay-ass shit. And this is what I mean by the over-sexualization. It starts to become trite. Because to people, it's just like, to me, my thing is, yeah, sex is great when it's with the right person and you actually trust that person. Y'all build a rapport. You're not just slinging your dick all over the place. You're not just releasing your vagina to any old man. But to make this point, it's just like that media influence is so like hard with it, yo. Like they just push it, and it's just like, yo, every day you can get on your phone, you can see it. You go outside your door, you can see it. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how it is.
And it's ridiculous. Like sex like that. Like even with the rappers that are coming from XXL for the women, like how good their coochie is and how much money they got and how much a nigga need to pay for them. Like it's really terrible. And you would think like, all these movements, it's not moving anywhere, because even Little Kim's model that she said in the song, which I didn't even understand why she was sexy, or I didn't think she was sexy. Like, And all the stuff she would say, like, why spend mine when I can spend yours? What the fuck is that? How was that being a bad bitch? You sound broke to me. I'm sorry. Like, I never
Hannah
understood.
said
Yeah,
Brooke
she
B.
said that.
Vibes.
And I
Hannah
was
going
like,
off.
when I was a teenager, I was like, how was she sexy?
Oh, you didn't think Lil' Kim was attractive?
I didn't. No. I didn't think. I know she's a beautiful girl, especially that little the first Lil' Kim with the roses. She was in that leopard print. I think she was sexy like that. I'm just talking about this bad bitch movement. Like, ooh, this nigga spent this and this on me, and you know what I'm saying? Like,
it's narcissism. That's all it is. In a nutshell, narcissism, and that's what a lot of this.
When I can spend
Which
yours.
is ironic because they try to call everybody else out on their narcissism.
And then,
you're a narc. Like,
and then they coochie so good, but you sleeping with everybody. I don't understand that. Like, how does that work?
What the fuck? Gwyneth Paltrow did a candle as well. Antisocial said Gwyneth Paltrow. Oh, god damn, yo. I didn't even know that. Shit. My fault. Continue.
Wait, Gwyneth Paltrow did a candle?
Yeah, she did a candle. Anti, if you wanna jump on and explain that, that'd be lovely.
Yeah, what the hell?
What? Like, I didn't know Gwyneth. Oh wow.
It's terrible.
Because it's random. That's a random actress to me. So I'm like, with Erykah Badu, it makes sense because I'm just like, it's Erykah Badu.
Yeah,
and
she's always been weird.
Like those whole entire spiritual chicks that wear those African fucking.
Yeah, I don't fuck with them. I think they're weird as hell.
Those African little beads or whatever.
That weird looking cross shit. I see.
They wear those African what you call it, beads around their waist beads.
Yeah, that was weird.
And I said the problem with y'all motherfuckers is y'all don't even know the significance of why they wear that shit. Y'all motherfuckers sitting up there wearing that shit just to be sexy and be a hoe.
But why is that? Like, is that for that's for the man to read, right? Or something like that, right?
I don't know what I gotta look that up, but I don't remember what it means. But I just know that especially American women, especially them Pan-Africans, the Pan-African women, the ones that follow that whole entire Pan-Africanism, they feel as if they get those damn beads is supposed to make them extra sexy or they connect them with some type of god and shit. I say, y'all don't know shit.
Yeah, right? My friend said that it was supposed to be some type of thing when you get married.
It's supposed to be married,
the guy's supposed to read it. Like, he was the only one supposed to see it. It's supposed to be hidden. It's not supposed to be shown off. Now
today they out here wearing with all their crop tops and all that other stuff.
That's like, child, it's always something, man. But as what's his name said in the comment section, think it's a binary code. I'm entertained by our world. Me too. I just fucking laugh all the time.
It's a comedy show. You guys sit back and laugh because it's just like, this is serious. It's like certain conversations we bring up, whether it be here on a Brownstone Powwow or just in real life. You just sit back and you're just like, wait a minute, this is real. Like I don't believe we really are having this conversation. Like, dead ass. Like,
it's the fact. And all the bad bitches is hoes. Telling you,
bro. Female goddess sexual worship.
And then Amber Rose was talking about bodies, that it shouldn't matter how many bodies a girl have because they don't give a shit about God. Nigga, a guy's a hoe too.
Right. They don't understand the sexual exchange.
Like Blueface, I wouldn't even hold his hand.
Right.
I wouldn't eat off the same plate as him. Like, there's no way in hell.
Come on now, you wouldn't share a little steak, you know?
Get down, Tatiana.
Hell no.
Yeah, break that shit down.
I'd have been like, you know what? You can have the plate. I'm out. Oh, even Tatiana. Friends who bragged about that shit, like, I never ate off them ever. Shit, lip gloss, none of that shit. Like, that shit is not okay. What Blueface say? He over 100 bodies or 500? Child.
Sexual energy. Sexual exchange. The fact of the matter, like, basically, if I was having sex with a girl that had numerous amounts of bodies and stuff like that, it's basically like I had sex with them.
Yeah.
And it's like that sexual exchange can fuck with you because then you'll be feeling weird about it. It wouldn't feel clean, basically. It wouldn't feel clean. You know, and that's why I try to advise the brothers. It's like you can't like. It was always discussed. I got offered, not offered like casual. Like, do you want to have sex with me? Like, back when I was like a teenager, like this woman was like, yeah, you know, you want to fuck and this, that, and third. And I was just like, nah, because you've been fucking a couple of other dudes that I already know, so I'm not with all that. Oh, you're gay. How am I gay? Because I don't want to have sex with you. That makes no sense. I don't want to have sex with you. You've been tossed around, shorty, like a hot potato. And that's what they don't get.
That's not okay.
You bargain, Hannah.
Who cares? Have AIDS. The AIDS. Bragging about how that's good. That's nice. But you're gonna get AIDS. You keep it up like that.
Yeah, this is also much applies to the whole culture, which something I was already against. That whole entire phenomenon with the cucumber challenge. You know what I'm saying? Like that, man. Like seeing all these people out here doing the cucumber challenge, and they sit up there trying to like choke on a cucumber in their car and shit. Yo, I was like, this world is done, man. This world is done. Hey, Antisocial, I would really like for you to come on a panel. We actually was talking about the Bible earlier, so Antisocial always bring the smoke. If you want to come up, that'd be great. Demetris, you got any on it?
Huh?
Or you got anything on it? I mean, matter of fact, Demetris, let me ask you this, because you're Gen Z. So,
Yeah.
do you see that it's a harder time dealing with women? I hate that I'm. Not that I hate, but I'm like, this is ironically fuel for Friday's stream because I'm going to be talking something about related to this. I was trying to say in Gen Z, do you see the women are like completely out of order? Do you see some like I'm pretty sure you see like a good amount of Gen Z women still cool, but just like the normality, like what is it like? And Lady A, get a word in, peace.
Let me see. Hey, Auntie. So the ones that are astray are way astray. You're not wrong about that. But I would have to say, for the most part, Miss J, when she comes up on the woman's perspective, she's right about a lot of this. If you want to see a fight, talk to Gen Z girls about single motherhood. They don't tolerate it. They really don't. They'll tell a woman straight to her face, that's your fault for opening your legs. And I'm serious about stuff like that. They do not play about sexual activity.
All right, good, because it's always these wrong perceptions, like, oh, Gen Z women are done, man, and I'll be like, whoa, let's not do all that, man. Oh, okay, wait, so she's gonna be right back. Well, all right, I forgot what I was gonna say. My fault. But yeah, basically, I agree. I can understand that because maybe I need to have. It's like the women that I talk to who's also Gen Z. They have more of a clearer mind, and it's just like, but it's like pretty sick because everything is bound by like social media too. So then you still see on TikTok about how they brag about how many bodies they got, and that's just like very masculine energy to admit shit like that. Like some girl admitted like she had 6 bodies in a day. Like, what kind of, yeah.
Like I said, the ones that are astray are very astray.
Yeah. See, either they're just astray or they just not astray. So there's nothing much more you can do about that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Hello.
Peace.
Hey. How's everyone doing?
Good.
This was a good conversation. I just checked out for a little bit, so I didn't actually hear the biblical bit.
Oh, well, we got into that later. I don't. You was here when I was talking about the pro-blackness stuff, right?
Yeah, I was in the beginning a little bit. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So you can just elaborate on whatever it is you feel. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Is it JustHannah? What JustHannah said was really good. It was really in depth. The world is coming to an end, as you said. We're pretty much winding down now. So things are going to get strange and they're going to get worse. they're not really gonna get any better. I was shocked that Gen Zs are so militant about sex, but I suppose I shouldn't be that surprised because we know sexual activity amongst the youth is actually falling. So young people are having less sex, but older people are still not necessarily getting it together. So yeah, it's a strange time, but I do believe sex is used as a weapon against people, and whatever they want to put out, they kind of try it on black people first because the BETs was literally just like one giant sexual ritual. Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of sad, but that's just how it's gonna go. It's not gonna get any better because the internet is taking a lot of themes and concepts around the world at such a fast rate that you can't really counter it because everybody's got smartphones and internet access and they control it all. So what they want us to see, that's what they're going to put out there.
It's so true.
I mean, my all of my friends that are women, they're hardcore against casual sex. They are hardcore against it. So to say that Gen Z girls are militant about minimalizing or being hardcore against reckless sexual activity is pretty much on point. I think it's because we're trying to fix stuff the best way we know how. So,
Because there is society is broken because of single mothers. So I feel like everybody's trying to figure out because it's love what is missing, and it's the man. And if God, everything with the devil is the opposite. So people think that the devil with the Antichrist, but what if the Antichrist is a woman? Has anyone ever thought about that? Because look at society.
no, I have not.
No,
But what if it
I think
is?
in the Baphomet.
I don't think the devil's gonna reincarnate himself into a man because God created man. He created Adam. The devil does everything the opposite. So what if it?
Yeah, I mean, there are scriptures that suggest that it says he'll have no desire for women. So some people say it's possible he could be a gay man, but I don't think he would. I don't think the Antichrist would be a woman, but maybe the Antichrist is a two-person outfit. It's the Antichrist and the false prophet. So maybe the false prophet is, and who knows? But
yeah,
it's going to be strange. But I think Gen Zs, they're a bit more clued up because of, again, the internet is a blessing and a curse. They are going to have certain discussions and kind of look at the previous generations, and they don't have certain loyalties like before. So they're looking at the previous generations with a little bit more objectivity and not so much loyalty, and they're realizing some of the things you guys taught us or did or what you claim you went through, we just don't want that. They're just for themselves, and I think that's kind of good because some of the cultural loyalties, they actually lead you into doing things that ultimately is going to just perpetuate that cycle of dysfunction. So yeah, Gen Zs are kind of, their eyes are open. In terms of they do look very sexual. That's the thing. I'm shocked at how adult they look for young people. I'm not talking about the older Gen Zs who are like 20, they're already adults, but I mean like even the kids. And I know people who have all the weave, the makeup, the dragon claw nails, and they're still virgins. And I was just like, but you look like you look like you're about to go to the club kind of thing, and not to dance.
And you know what it is with these makeups? Because I was seeing this on like the bus the other day. Well, first of all, these two women, these two, I know for sure they was Gen Z. They got on a bus and didn't want to put a mask on. The bus driver had to be like, you put a mask on, get off the bus. So I just was looking at the one girl that was on there, and I was just like, wow, drawn on eyebrows, caked up makeup. You know what I'm saying? And it just looked like, based on her outfit, it didn't really look like she was trying to go to the club. But it was just like, I don't know what it is with these makeups and foundations nowadays, but they look more masculine than they do feminine.
It's a fact. Yeah. And then when you look at them, you gotta look at the different. It's like an obsession type of shit. Like they have no makeup looks. They have beach makeup look. Like what the fuck? Like why you need that shit every day? Now I understand if it's like in a special occasion, but damn, like they have no makeup looks, and if they take it off, they look two different people. And then it must be some type of agenda for makeup, like to downsize the beauty of what it is to be natural, because they be having these raccoon eyes, because I guess it's being that they pick up so much makeup and there's so many layers that they develop these permanent fucking suntan shit. Like they got raccoon eyes. Like it looks crazy. Even when my mom like noticed that the makeup was getting heavier, like she told me, like, I don't want you wearing all that, like I don't want it to, because it's not feminine either, because drag queens, they do that shit.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, and that even their contouring shit came from drag queens, so they look weird. Like they just look like creatures now. Right. And these fucking eyelashes, they need to go, baby. I don't know what the hell. I was scrolling on Instagram, man. She must have had a bat on her eye. She could barely open her eye. Her eyes were watery. I'm like, what the hell is this?
I went to a store the other day, and I swear the lashes were about an inch long. I don't know if I've ever seen lashes that long, or if I had, it's been a really long time. And it's like, don't stare. Yeah. Just try to get your stuff at the till and quickly leave. But when I got to the till and put down my items and I looked at her face and there's these like inch and a half eyelashes, I was like, what in the entire hell is on your face? Like, so this is what brothers are really talking about.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's just really, it's like we try to say that. Peace, Wacky, get a word in. What's going on, man?
Oh, what's going on? But when it comes to the conversation at hand, I have to agree with the sister when she's speaking about this drag queen energy, because now I'm going out in public here in New York City, and I'm seeing these
when she's speaking about
JustHannah,
this drag queen energy,
you're repeating.
because now I'm going out in public here in New York City.
All right, go ahead, Wacky. She'll probably jump back
on. Okay, yeah. All right, yeah. Yeah. I'm looking around, and it's hard for me to determine if every sister I see is a male or female. Because of all that makeup that they wear, that in which grown up, I'm like, hold on. It's these Transformers who wears all this makeup. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Fake hair, fake eyelashes, fake this, fake that. It's just, I don't know. It's just insane.
It's a fact. And not only that, but I've because I'm not gonna lie, I used to wear makeup and I used to wear weave and I did it all. I did lace fronts, I did all that shit. But I got tired after a while. I woke up one day, it was like, you know what? Let me take care of me. Let me take care of my own hair. Let me do this and that. And I noticed that, being myself, it was a challenge, because even if you don't wear none of that shit, even if I used to wear it and I'm not wearing anymore, you get picked on about it. Like this other girl, like one of my friends, well, my so-called friends that I cut off, she was like, oh, Hannah, you'd be such a pretty girl. All you need is a nice closure. And I just looked at her and I was like, what? Like, why I can't just be myself? Like, because I was telling her, I'm going natural, and, you should too. It's very revolutionary. I ain't got to wake up an hour, because when I used to put makeup on, I used to wake an hour early, like maybe 6 o'clock in the morning, if I had to be to work at 9, just to do my makeup, like, so it was a journey that I'm still going through, but I'm even noticing it's becoming hard just to be yourself, or to be a natural beauty. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
It's not hard. It's just that don't listen to the ignorant people that have ignorant things to say about you. That's it. It's not hard. It's very simple. Be
Don't get
yourself
into
and,
the in crowd.
embrace your natural beauty. And if anybody has something negative to say, don't listen to them. It's
Well,
not
we do
hard.
the New York. We do the New York. I'm sorry. This is gonna be very, very
But
X-rated for a second. We say in New York, well, you can suck my dick.
basically. But I have something to say in regards to the title of the video because it says Bronzebird versus the Pro Blacks. I mean, I just want to know,
Yeah,
can you
yeah.
break it down, Bronzebird? What do you mean by that? What are you having issues with the fake pro blacks on YouTube?
I was explaining earlier. I had notes that I had put up, and I had talked about the BET Awards. I had talked about how I see two different so-called black men that's in the way of the so-called black men that have the mindsets of you and I. I said that you'll find that you have the homosexual black man that's against the black man who's on the square, and also the liberal black man who is subservient to the liberal black woman. So those are kind of like the stumps in the road for the black man who naturally wants to see the order happen because they step in the way of it. I had also some notes talking about, I don't like the whole entire brag thing of using white people as an alibi when it comes to relationship factors. Both sides. I don't like when black women do it, and I don't like when black men do it. My rule is simple. You date who you date and be fine with them. You don't need to brag about how this race is this race is that, so that you can get back at your own race. The fact of the matter that you're dating them and you don't find them desirable to date. That's just corny. So what else did I bring up? I brought up about the single mother narrative, and then, you know, just basic concepts like that. But I definitely think that I wanted to make this more, because you see it every time on YouTube. You get I call them the bougie Negroes, the dudes that feel like they're better than men like me because I'm not falling for the okie doke, and that I stand on my square and say I just really don't care what you have to say. If you want to talk about the progression of the black community, then you need to understand we need to be more militant on what exactly to reject these liberal ideologies and just understand what's right from wrong, what's the left or the right path. So that was my basic concept on that. But Wacky, you can take it away.
I mean, the thing is, on social media and in so-called black society in general, you have true pro-blacks and you have phony pro-blacks. And you see the true pro-blacks, they're the ones who are truly aware of the state of black America and have a genuine desire of solving the issues that is plaguing black America. The fake pro-blacks, on the other hand, are trying to rationalize or justify the dysfunction that goes on in black America by A, claiming that it's someone else's fault, by B, making some pseudo intellectual historical statement saying that ancient Egypt this happened, so the reason why that you see this going on in black communities because we're just going back to what going on in ancient Egypt, whatever bullshit they're talking about. So that's what you see right now. You just see it's just something between genuine people versus the phony individuals. And unfortunately, the phony individuals have gotten a lot of a lot of attention, especially in social media, especially in so-called Black Twitter, which is ridiculous. Black Twitter is ridiculous. All it is pro-alphabet leftist garbage that's disguised as being pro-black. Well, really, most of these individuals are not pro-black. So that's the way I see it. I see it's the fake versus the real.
I agree 100%, bro. And that's what I was discussing earlier. Just the idea about it with the black man who stands on his square, just adding on to your point, he is supposed to be made to be the enemy. And they do all these shaming tactics and use all these shaming words like calling him a coon or sitting up there saying that he's against the black community, he's a white supremacist, and all these different things. And what I really say is the pro-blacks, the liberal pro-blacks, they're seeking white validation. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And you see things now like critical race theory going on in these schools, and this whole entire thing about trying to say, well, you have to understand my pain and my struggle. I said I'm tired. I didn't get a chance to say this, but I'm tired of the slavery narrative because I know our history is much more. We don't have excuses now. It was cool that y'all brung up Tulsa, Oklahoma, Black Wall Street, but you didn't bring up Weeksville, Brooklyn. You didn't bring up the towns in Florida. You didn't bring up the when they did the whole entire, I believe, the gold rush about how they had towns in California. When they had a town called, I forgot the name of it, but they had a town that was Harlem of the West. Okay, a lot of towns that was out here. Even I found out a while ago, and if I can find it, then I'll definitely make sure that I send it to you, or just mention it again. About there was I think either she was between the age of 11 or 13, a black girl that was a millionaire off of oil back in the 1900s.
Yeah, I heard about that. Wow. I did hear about that.
Okay.
And Brownsbird, sorry to add on to what you're saying, I just find it funny that when people mention Black Wall Street, they only mention the Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma, when there were several other Black Wall Streets in America. What about Durham, North Carolina? There was a Black Wall Street there. There was also a Black Wall Street in Richmond, Virginia, which still exists in Richmond, Virginia. And it's funny. Okay, the Black Wall Street that existed in Tulsa, Oklahoma was, okay, we know what destroyed that. Okay, we already know that.
Right.
But do you know what destroyed the Black Wall Street in Durham, North Carolina?
What?
It's because the so-called black people over there embraced the integration. When integration happened as a result of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, the so-called black people in Durham, North Carolina, who at one point supported black businesses, felt that because now America's integrated, that they are now accepted in white establishment. So they stopped supporting the black-owned establishment and start supporting the white-owned establishment. And as a result, a lot of black-owned establishments over there just went out of business. So whenever people speak about, the end of the different Black Wall Street you have, they always speak about how the Caucasian man blew a bomb and stuff, and all that's true. But let's speak on the other side. Let's speak on how on the other side in Durham, North Carolina, that there were so-called black people who voluntarily destroyed so-called black-owned establishment by not supporting them after they embraced integration. Now, I'm not trying to say that integration is a bad thing, but what I'm trying to say is that as a result of integration, people had a misunderstanding of it and not realize that it was about giving civil rights to black people. But black people didn't understand that. They just thought that, okay, I'm now accepted in so-called white establishment, so I'm going to stop supporting these black establishments and keep supporting these white establishments. So it's like, okay, if we're going to speak about the history of so-called black people in America, let's be balanced and speak about the whole damn thing.
Agreed. Agreed, absolutely. And the thing about it is like, because now I already did the research before it started becoming popular. The whole famous thing about Seneca Village, things like that. But they didn't talk about a town in upstate New York called Timbuktu. Also, a couple of towns in New York. And just getting back to that point, yeah, it's never really balanced because the narrative is to always make it seem as if like, oh well, the white man took us out of commission. Oh, this happened, it got destroyed. I'd be like, but how? Like, that can't just be the whole story for the consensus of America, especially when it comes to black people. You know what I'm saying? You have to look at it from all sides, like you said, and understand there was greatness, but there could have been decisions that so-called black people made in order to get away from it. So can't all this, that's why I say I don't like that whole entire white supremacy all day crap. Just like today, like you do stuff directly to harm yourself or harm the community at large.
Right. And you know what? I'm going to say this. I'm not going to go totally against when people say how institutional racism is a factor in keeping so-called black people marginalized, because that's correct to a certain degree. But once again, we have to be balanced and actually acknowledge all the factors that's keeping so-called black people marginalized, because we can't always blame we can't always unanimously blame so-called white supremacy as the one and only factor that's keeping so-called black people behind. We can't, because when you just look at history from an objective view, history will tell you that it's multiple factors that has kept so-called black people behind. It's not only so-called white supremacy, it's also what I'll say so-called black irresponsibility. So it's a mixture of both. So, and that's why I don't like that phony leftist pro-black rhetoric where they just keep promoting this idea that, oh well, every single flaw of the so-called black community is the fault of, quote unquote, the system was white supremacy. Because what that does, that promotes a defeatist mindset into the minds of so-called black people that believe in that nonsense. It makes them think that it doesn't matter how hard they try to gain progress, they'll always be pulled back by quote unquote white supremacy. Now, once again, I'm not saying that racism is not a factor in keeping so-called black people marginalized. I'm saying that there are other factors at hand in which, at the same time, we as a people, we are actually assisting this quote unquote white supremacist system to keep us marginalized by the things that we do to each other. So we have to be more balanced if we're going to speak about the current conditions, so-called black people. We have to be balanced in speaking about all the factors involved in what results in the state of Black America today.
Good words, bro. Good words. Anybody else? Hannah, Demetris, Lady
A. He said it all.
Yeah, he said it all.
Pretty much, right?
Wacky,
Yeah,
drop the
all
mic.
that's left is for us to, people like us and the ones that aren't here on the stream that are actually, out there in community work to follow through with the plan. That's all it is.
Cool.
You see, a lot of the time people try to oversimplify the solutions of the black community as if to say if you fix one thing, everything else will just fall into place. But there's a number of things that are wrong and broken at the same time. And it's kind of like, which one do you address first? And how willing is everybody to actually try to do something about the problem? So it's like a lot of the time these conversations get very binary because it's like, well, are you blaming the women or are you blaming the men or are you blaming white supremacy? And it's like, no, everybody's kind of contributing to this problem and everybody kind of has to, well, white supremacy is not really going to own up to what it's doing, because why would it? If you're a minority in a white country, they benefit from white supremacy. So there's even if they say they're going to do something, there's either something in it for them or it's more of a gesture rather than an actual solution. So black people have to understand that the problems in the black community are multifaceted, and they kind of all aspects have to be addressed pretty much at the same time. Otherwise, no matter how much you fix one area, another area will kind of let the side down kind of thing. So yeah, the pro-blacks, they do seem to rely too heavily on blaming white people for everything. And then the question becomes, well, what do you want them to do? Do you want them to just hand you power, which is never going to happen? So yeah, there's people who are pro-black in the sense they like the Afrocentric life and talking about things to do with black people, but sometimes that becomes like a crutch, or they hide behind it. They hide behind it must be right because it's somebody melanated. And no, not everybody who's black is doing the right thing. So there's different ways to be pro-black. Economic pro-blackness is one of the most important things because we live in a capitalistic society. So yeah, No, I was just going to say it's complicated because you have to get everybody on board to understand where the real problem is and allocate blame appropriately.
But I
Yeah,
think
but like
this
for example,
wait, guys.
okay,
Hannah and then Wacky. Go.
So yeah, it's even much because if you look in the 70s, I mean, there was fucking afros. They would pull back everything, grease, everything would like. But for example, there was a meme on Instagram, and it was like it was with Kermit the Frog sipping tea. He was like, you know, everybody want to be, y'all see a lot of ladies trying to be pro-black, but y'all won't give up them closures or them lace fronts. But I'm sleep though. You know, it's different. But like for example, there were it was this girl, it was one of those picture memes, and she was like, yeah, don't eat at the Chinese restaurant. And then there was a guy who commented, he was like, don't buy their hair. Like, you know, it's deeper. It's not just the movement back in the 70s. I mean, it was beautiful. Like everybody had afros. Like you can tell the difference from who was black, you know, who was like black. It was different. We was on grease bottles. I mean, brown should look at Aunt Jemima. Aunt Jemima looks crazy now. I don't even recognize who Aunt Jemima is from the 90s to now. Like they didn't lighten her up. She got a European nose. Her curls look a little bit more like 2A, 2C, you know, like it's a lot. It's deeper because it's like it's not a curse, but there's a stronghold on it. And the more we divide it, the more we can't get through it, you know? Like
yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
All right.
A divide and conquer tactic.
Hannah, are you done with your statement?
Oh yeah, I'm finished. Sorry.
Okay, yeah. Well, I think that people have to really understand what the true definition of pro-black is, because you have a lot of people who come on social media perpetrating a fraud and claims to be pro-black when they're not. You know, being pro-black is when you are fighting for the progress of your people, you know, or so-called black people. That's what it comes down to when it comes to being pro-black. So when people are making statements that does not contribute to the progress of so-called black people but claim to be pro-black, they're just backsliding motherfuckers. Excuse my language. Yeah. So like I said, when it comes to being pro-black, it's a split between the phony pro-blacks and the true pro-blacks, and you could tell the phonies from the real ones from just what they talk about. Because if what they're saying is not contributing to progress, then they're not pro-black. Being pro-black is all about progress. So it doesn't matter how many dashiki somebody wear, whether they got afros or so-called dreadlocks or cornrows in their hair. That doesn't matter. That's external. It's about what are you doing to contribute to the progress of a certain people, and that is determined by a person's character, by a person's heart. A person's heart and a person's character will show based upon their actions. So that's what determines whether or not somebody's pro-black. If they are for progress and they're doing whatever it takes for the progress of so-called black people. If they're not doing that, then it's nothing but a bunch of phony rhetoric.
He's like, where's your RBG flag, my brother?
Yeah. Where's your RBG flag? Where's that?
Are you down for the count? Put your fist up. Like,
yeah, that's nothing but a bunch of Halloween costumes. Those things don't matter. Once again, what are you doing to fight for the progress of so-called black people?
Just get pumped up by listening to Dead Prez. You know what I mean? My fault, Wacky. Go ahead.
No, I'm done.
Yeah, like, yeah. A lot of it I feel like is a show, you know what I'm saying? That's just why, like...
Yeah, it's deeper than buying black. I mean, like, look at how black women, like, yellow hair and all this weird shit. I've never, you know, like, it's a competition of who started what, like, and it's tragic. Like, for an example, Nicki Minaj and Lil' Kim, arguing, y'all bitches is 5'2", talking about they black Barbie, when in reality Brandy was the first Barbie doll of African American descent to actually hit stores. I don't know if no one knows that, but that's the real black Barbie who should be complaining about. She was actually a Barbie, you know. So it's a lot. It's a lot. It's deep issues. Like,
let me ask y'all this, because I think I'm having a struggle trying not to be judgmental on it. Maybe it is important, maybe it isn't important, but we want to talk about perceptions because brothers do complain about hairstyles and how black women look. So even though she's accomplished a great thing, and I never will take it from her, how do y'all feel about Sherry Richardson, the one that won the race, I believe, just recently? How do you feel about that?
Wait, you talking about that black girl with the yellow hair?
Sha'Carri Richardson. Yeah, Sha'Carri Richardson.
Yeah, my fault.
Was that her?
Orange,
the one that
orange,
won the Olympics, going into the Olympics thing.
Yeah, she did she was running track.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What are y'all perspectives on that? I mean, I don't know if it's really. Go ahead, Wacky.
I'm happy for it.
Okay, so Wacky, I'm gonna do it like this: Wacky, Demetris, Hannah, and if Antisocial, if you got anything on it.
Yeah.
That's a good order.
I made a video about it, but I'll put it on private because I didn't like how it came out. But okay, Sha'Carri Richardson, she's the new Gabby Douglas. And if you guys know the history of Gabby Douglas back in 2012, you know what I'm talking about. Gabby Douglas was a black female Olympic gymnast who represented the United States in the 2012 Olympic Games and won so many gold medals, right? And a lot of people on black Twitter poke fun of her because of her hair. Now, what she did with her hair, she had long natural hair, pretty looking, dark and complected so-called black female who had long natural hair. And all she did, she admitted that all she did, right, was just put gel on her hair and tie it up in its ponytail. And so-called black people was poking fun of her hair, talking about how her hair looked so bad, and you know what happened, what have you. But she had long natural hair, and black people was making fun of it. So I find it ironic now, where you got this now, this soon-to-be Olympic track star, Sha'Carri Richardson, who's being teased on social media by so-called black people because of her hair, because she wears this long weave. Now, I'm not a fan of weave. I'm not a fan of so-called black females wearing weave and wigs. But my thing is this: when it comes to Sha'Carri Richardson, she is a soon-to-be Olympic athlete. Her talent has nothing to do with her hair. So if we're going to talk about her as a track star, right? Speak about her talent. Her hair has nothing to do with it. That's my thing on it.
Demetris?
I mean, I agree. Like, her hair is irrelevant to her talent. Be happy for her. That this is something that doesn't necessarily happen every day. So just be happy for her.
Hannah, what's your thoughts?
Okay, I know I'm gonna get hatred for this, but you know what? Somebody gotta speak it. It is what it is. Now, see, there's this ghetto fabulous movement that's going on, and it's definitely involved with black women. There's nothing wrong with weave, but when you think about Olympics, you have to follow protocol. You have to follow the uniform. As you can see, all them little girls, and they got their hair wrapped up in a ponytail and a slick back. There's not. I mean, if she would have wore braids, I would never had a problem with it. But she came out here looking like Bernie the what's that big bird hair, and like all this ghetto fabulous shit. Like it's terrible, and we can't elevate if now I understand what Wacky's talking about, her talent, yeah, but it overlooks it because she's not standing out as culture. It's this ghetto fabulous shit. We can't elevate if we want to be ghetto all the time. There's a time and a place for that. So that's just how I feel about it.
What can I say this? Can I say this? Okay, I mean, what is so ghetto fabulous about what she's doing?
It's the hair, bro. She had yellow hair. Come on. This is the Olympics. People pay. No, it's not about it being that's it. It's just, it's ghetto. Like, you know, like we can't elevate like that. Like, and everyone thinks that, oh, you know, she just stands out. No, it's ghetto. Like Little Kim. They look at her like when she started that shit back in the 90s, hood rat with money. That's it. That's how they look at us. So but, it is what it is, but you know.
But Hannah, racist individuals are always going to look at us like that, regardless. Regardless. Like I said, I don't agree with females wearing weave. I'm not a fan of her wearing yellow hair, but I think that so-called black people need to know how to compartmentalize, you know, and learn how to separate their personal disagreements with someone's hair and critiquing someone based on their talent. Because if you talk, I mean, it's okay. Okay, you think it's ghetto fab is fine, but what I'm saying is that when it comes to someone playing a sport, right?
Mm-hmm.
Me, I'm a person that I'm focused on their performance in the sport. So when I critique an athlete, I critique them upon their performance in the sport. I don't critique them on anything else. You know, I don't. You know, I'm not a fan of the tattoos, but But my thing is, I know how to compartmentalize and know how to separate and know know that there's a time and place to speak about the tattoos, but there's also another time and place to speak about a person's performance in a specific sport. And like I said, and to sit there for someone to sit there and critique an athlete not upon their performance, but upon their hair, I'm just saying that has nothing to do with each other. So I'm like I said, it's okay to disagree with the hair because I'm not a fan of her wearing that yellow weave and stuff like that. But once again, I understand that if someone's playing a sport, I'm only critique. My thing is, I'm only going to critique that person's performance because when you look at other sports that black females are playing, right, like a WNBA, you see a lot of weave. You see a lot of weave. They're on the court wearing their weave and what have you, right? But I don't see people critiquing the black female WNBA players for wearing weave. If anything, these black female WNBA players are being critiqued based upon their performance.
Okay. And you saying that, right? So I got a question for you. Have you seen Tiger Woods in a golf competition with his pants off his ass? Oh,
well, I don't watch golf. I'll tell you this. I've never seen Tiger Woods compete in a golf tournament because I don't watch golf.
Oh, well, I'm telling you, he didn't bring that there. Now, it's a time and a place. Even for the ice skating, they never came in with colorful hair and all this dumb shit because it's a time and a place for everything. This is the Olympics. This isn't just some shit you just watch on TV. Like, you representing somebody. So I didn't like it. And I'm going to be honest, I didn't like it. I thought it was ghetto. I thought it was unclassy. Like, she could have did. Have you seen Serena and what's them two twins, the tennis players?
Venus
have you seen them with green and pink?
They wore weave. They wore weave before.
They wore
no,
weave
I
in
know
early
they wear weave.
But I understand the color. Yeah,
like,
I understand you're saying the color.
Even at a regular job, you can't. Even as a pharmacy technician, you can't come in with colorful hair because it's gonna clash with your uniform, and they don't want that to show. They want it to be a business color. Like, you can't come up in here, even for security guards. You can't come in here. Back when I used to work at American Eagle, they told her to go home. She came in with a blue wig, knowing that's going to clash with the uniform. They told her to tone it down. It's not, the world don't work like that. You can't just come up in here looking like Elmo one day and be like, oh, okay, I'm different. No.
Okay, but Hannah, that's okay. I understand, but that's the rules and regulations of that company. All companies, have a certain level of autonomy where they could enforce a certain dress code. But in the Olympics, there's no rules and regulations regarding whether or not somebody could wear a wig. you know. But and as far as you saying Tiger Woods wearing his pants down, sagging his pants, like I said, I don't watch golf, so I've never really watched Tiger Woods play. But I'm sure that when it comes to playing golf, I'm sure that sagging your pants down is going to get in the way of your performance in the sport. Because when you sag your pants down, you are uncomfortable. You can't properly, swing that club. When you swing that club, right? It starts from the legs. It starts from the legs and on up. So you can't properly have, plant your feet and utilize your legs properly or your lower body properly when sagging your pants. But I get what you're saying. But once again, like I said, I can't, like I said, when it comes to Sha'Carri Richardson wearing the weave, I can separate my disagreement with weave and me critiquing someone's performance. Like I said, I can compartmentalize. I understand that there's a time and place for everything. There's a time and place to critique someone from wearing a wig, but there's also time and place to critique somebody's talent.
No, but it's not. I'm not talking about her wig. I'm talking about the color of it. Like, damn. Like, if at least you going to Olympics, represent us, not in a ghetto way. Like, you know what I'm saying? But that's just my personal opinion. I just feel like Black women could do better with this colorful wig shit. Like, that's all I'm saying. Like, it's nothing wrong with wearing weave, but you coming out of your house looking like Elmo one day and thinking, that's what it is to be different. That's not it. It just makes us look ghetto. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I guess that's me, but I don't know.
I mean, there is something wrong wearing weave, but like I said, we have to learn how to separate the two. That's my opinion. We have to learn how to separate the two. But
love both of y'all's perspectives. I want to let Anti get a word.
Yeah, I don't really know what to say. I'm kind of going down the middle. I'm going down the middle because I can see where both people come from, because I do talk a lot about our ethnic image, but I do agree. I think a little bit more with Wacky in the sense that when it depending on who is critiquing her as well, it's like when it comes to people outside the community, I think they need to focus on her performance because that's what she came there to do. And it's kind of true, like there isn't necessarily a strict dress code when it comes on to um the athletics. Now, when I saw her, I didn't like the way she looked from a personal perspective. And I did think it was over the top. And when I saw a picture with the amount of tattoos, I didn't think I would have such an issue seeing tattooed women. But it's just starting to really irk me now. When I see a woman with tattoos, I really have a visceral reaction. I'm like, wow, what did you think you were doing? It's
what
like
I'm saying?
you're kind of used to seeing men heavily tattooed and maybe a sleeve or something. Even on men, I'm not really a fan of it. But now I see women with tattoos on the neck, tattoos on the hand, and I'm just like,
on the
babe,
face too.
what were you thinking? No, it's just too much. But I, like Wacky said, I had to kind of separate. Okay, she came to perform and she performed. She's there to run and she ran. So, appreciate what she did do, and behind closed doors we can kind of discuss how should she express her creativity or her identity or whatever they're going to say is the reason why she wears her hair that way. And it was really sad. I think it was a gymnast and they were mocking her because she had a lot of pins in her hair. And it's like, you will be the same people complaining about whether she has a dodgy weave. Now she's wearing natural hair, but she's got to pin it a lot because she's got to backflip and things like that. You're still kind of dragging her. So it's kind of like a damned if you do, damned if you don't thing in the Black community sometimes. You've just got to know what you're pushing for and go for it, because a lot of the time, whichever way you go, you're going to be heavily criticized.
I gotta look up this. What's her name? Gabby who?
Which one?
The one who had to pin her hair back. That
I
oh
can't
that
even remember, but
Gabby
yeah,
Douglas.
I think Gabby Douglas. Gabby Douglas. Yeah,
I
I
remember.
remember
And
that.
it was so sad. It was sad. They
Yeah,
didn't need to do her like that at all.
and it was like okay, and it was like so-called black people was talking all sorts of stuff. And now, mind you, it was not the other group of people; it was our people doing it for the most part, saying so much derogatory things about her when she's on one of the world's biggest stage in sports and representing the U.S. in the Olympics and winning gold medals. It's not easy getting into the Olympics, and it's even less easier to win a gold medal. So it's like, okay, like I said, like black people need to learn how to separate what they disagree with from what they agree with, or what I said, know how to compartmentalize. I understand. Okay, you don't agree with how somebody wear their hair, but once again, understand that if someone is playing a sport, all that other shit don't matter. Excuse my language. It's just like me. I'm not a fan of tattoos, right? I'm not a fan of tattoos, and based on my beliefs, tattoos is a pagan custom. It's a heathenistic custom. It's not a godly custom, But so therefore, me being a big fan of basketball, and I watch a lot of professional basketball players with the tattoos. I'm not a fan of it, but at the same time, I understand that okay, I'm here to watch a sport. I'm not here to watch or look at people's skin. I'm here to look at a sport. So I'm able to disagree with people wearing tattoos and at the same time just watch a sport and critique an athlete based upon their performance. You know, and I just think that a lot of so-called black people, they just I don't know, they just need to learn how to compartmentalize. You could agree with something, but at the same time, agree with something at the same time. It's like what we do with Shakari Douglas and I said Shakari Douglas. I'm sorry, Shakari Richardson, and what we did with Shakari with Gabby Douglas back in 2012 is that we see, and when I mean I'm just utilizing that in a general sense, that we see one thing that we disagree with, but then, and because of that one thing that we disagree with, we totally dismiss that person. That's what I see. And I'm not saying Hannah's doing that. Hannah, I'm not saying you doing that.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying is that I observe people doing that on social media, that because they don't like the tattoos and the weaves that Shakari Richardson is wearing, therefore they totally dismiss her all the way. And I'm just saying we shouldn't do that. We could disagree with the sister, but still admire and respect the sister for her talent.
That's true.
That's right.
Because I'm all the way with Hannah when it comes to that colorful wig. I'm all the way with that when it comes to that tattoos. But once again, I know how to compartmentalize it.
This is beautiful. This is why I hold down the Brownstone Powwow. Shout out to you local YouTubers. Support your
can
boy,
I say something?
Bronzebird, at the Brownstone Powwow. You know what I'm saying? Quick shout out. I'm sorry. Airtime, you go ahead.
I think I forgot what I was going to say now. I was going to say, and also with black people, popularity is more important than substance. If you are popular, you can say or do anything and you'll get a pass. And if you're not popular, it doesn't matter how good what you say or do is, they'll find a reason to kind of tear you down for it. And so it's just a very emotional way of looking at things, and definitely not being able to kind of eat the meat and spit the bone, where you can say, this is where we agree. Let's work on what we agree with and kind of try to come to some kind of agreement or resolution over what we don't agree with, because black people sometimes fixate on things that are not the primary thing to focus on at that time. For example, like the hair. Should we focus on her hair or should we focus on the accomplishment? If we have to pick one, let's prioritize the accomplishment, and then we can take her to the side and say, sis, I'm really happy you won that medal, but girl, that hair, I hope you're not planning on getting any more tattoos, something like that. But we kind of make everything equally important, and not everything is equally important.
Shout out to my viewers, you know what I'm saying? Brownstone Powwow. We do this all the time, you know what I'm saying? Thought provoking conversations. You what I'm saying? Here to spread the knowledge. You know what I'm saying?
But I don't want to disagree with Hannah.
No, I get both perspectives. I do.
Yeah, I 110% agree because when you look at her, it's not a very feminine look. It's very masculine. She's already a muscularly built woman, and she's covered in tattoos, and
You
she's
know
got a
what I'm
very
saying?
unnatural color on her head. It's just like,
Like, and I feel like I was too hard on her because maybe she don't know. Like, I don't know about these trainers. They coming from different perspectives. But back in the old days, like even for the ice skating ring, like you can do shit
you
like that
couldn't.
because
No,
this
you
is the
couldn't.
Olympics. Like this is different. This is on a different level. Like, and I understand. Like she just got into it. I just read it. Like an article. She just got accepted to the Olympics. That wasn't like a pregame for the Olympics. Actually, it was just one of her last competitions to get her actually inside the Olympics, which the team she made. So hopefully somebody could sit her down and be like, okay, this is the Olympics, you got to tone it down. You can't come up in here with yellow hair. But I know I did look up a couple of Russian girls. They had colorful hair. They had one did red like the flag for the Russian flag in her hair, and then one did like the American, but they did it with like I guess spray paint with beads, so I guess maybe I was a little bit too harsh. Sorry.
Oh, no, I'm not. You know what? I'm not even going to say that you was too hard on her, Hannah. I'm not, because Hannah, you're right. You see, the thing is, okay, I'm going to say this. I agree with Hannah when it comes to the appearance of Shakara Richardson. That's when so I've never disagreed with that. I agree with that her appearance, having all the tattoos and having the wig in general, whether it's colorful or not, the wig, it's to me, it's just not attractive. It's just not feminine, right? But at the same time, what I'm trying to say is that we can separate that from judging her performance. We can have that disagreement. It's okay to disagree with that, because I disagree with that. So that's what I'm saying. But let's not dismiss her. Like let's not totally dismiss all her accomplishments just because she presents herself in a way that we don't agree with. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm not saying that Hannah does that, but I'm saying I'm seeing too many so-called black people in social media doing that totally dismiss everything about her just because on a physical level she presents herself in a way that a lot of people don't agree with. And I'm saying that we can separate that. We can have a personal disagreement with her physical appearance, but at the same time still praise her sister for her talent. That's all I'm saying. Like I said, I don't disagree with Hannah when it comes to her physical appearance. What Hannah says about her physical appearance, I'm all with that. I'm just saying, let's compartmentalize that. We don't agree with that, but let's see what we do agree with. Do we agree that she's a very talented sister? I agree with that. Yeah.
As in, y'all gave good perspectives. I understand from both sides, absolutely. So I don't think, Hannah, you were being rough. I think you was just giving the idea of appearance, because I think that when it comes to this society, a lot of people don't really think about appearance as much these days. To me, especially, I'll probably make this a stream. Especially we talk about fashion. I think a lot of people dress like shit when it comes to fashion, but appearance. That's why I'm saying I completely understand it. And then with Wacky, yes, we gotta understand. We gotta look at it like, hey, look, listen, this is another successful sister that got into the Olympics. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we may not like the appearance, but she bust that ass on that track though. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's made like that. So you're not wrong on how you approach that all. You know what I mean? You're not wrong. You know what I'm saying? I totally get it. And
Hannah's right.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. Hannah's right on that.
Right.
Okay.
But going to what Wacky's saying as well, just the whole, especially what happened with Gabby Douglas, it's just kind of like you sit on the sidelines, you be like, really though? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you make it a big deal off of something that's just external, it's like, really though? Like, I'm not saying you, but I'm saying like, yo, if y'all gonna be on social media all day having a whole thread about that shit, it's like, really though? Like, you type this shit up, like you made a whole entire paragraph with the SMH emojis. Like, what are we doing? Like, this is sad news. So, no, I'm not saying your opinions is not valid at all. I would just say that the thing about it is downing her down. It's like, oh, you see that with black women? And just making this a business to basically say the way she looks like is not acceptable, not acceptable. And she's putting in all this hard time and all this work. It's like, okay, yeah, we have to focus on that she did something big in history and big that did that accomplishment, and then afterwards, like Lady A said, it's just like, yeah, you did great things, but you know, we ain't really feeling that look. You know what I'm saying? So that comes afterwards. So I basically like the primary focus is what is her accomplishments. Then the secondary point is the appearance. Because I do agree people should be presentable. You know, I do think that as well. Lady A, you was gonna say something?
No, I was thinking of saying something, but I wasn't necessarily going to cut you off mid-flow because I think Hannah said something earlier about like, was it Ghetto Fabulous or something?
Yeah,
And
like
that
it's like, you know, I mean, but then I see where Wacky coming from, because like I don't want people to think like, oh, I want her to change, like to be act different around white people. I just saying like you all the people that came before her, like there was another black top Olympic player. She was an ice skater. You know, she never had colorful hair and all this weird shit. She wore weave, of course, but it was presentable. It wasn't, you know, like I don't know. I don't know. I'm just mixing.
No, you're 100% right because the other issue is kind of going back to the popularity thing. People get a pass once you kind of. It's like when Wacky said, if they like you for one thing, they'll like you for everything. But if they have an issue with one thing, they'll throw you out for everything as well. And it's kind of like what we find in the black community is an all or nothing mentality. So if she was doing something that we didn't like, a lot of people will say, give her a pass. Don't even mention what you don't like because she's successful in another area. And that's also another problem where we can't police ourselves or say, here is where you're doing well, here is where you need to kind of fix up. Because it's like, well, why are you talking about where I'm doing not so well when I done this good thing? And that's how also a lot of people who do corrupt things in the community, they get a pass because people would say it's like R. Kelly, for example. It's like, well, you know, okay, maybe he did have some girls in his basement, but I really like the song, you know, Ignition. So it's like I got a two step to In the Name of Love at the wedding, and it's like I'm not going to give up R. Kelly because he can make music, but it's like, yeah, but you know, he kind of did some wrong things, and it's like sometimes you have to lump it all together, and sometimes you do have to separate and people get a pass to things that's wrong simply because, like I said before, they're popular. So that ghetto fabulous aspect, it is it is ramping up. People are trying to justify more and more outlandish behavior by saying, I'm not really like, you know, like these chicks looking very club ready, shall we say? But then they'll say, I'm a good girl. Well, how is anyone supposed to differentiate when everybody's starting to look very much the same? So it's a slippery slope, you know, it is tough because you can't read what's in people's hearts, but then you can see what they do. So it's like,
Yeah,
you're
and
not
like
wrong. Your
I just
concern is like a long-term thought process. If everybody takes your example, eventually everybody's gonna have loads of tattoos, dragon claw nails, and long blonde weave, and that's not the direction we want to go
You
in.
see what I'm think? Who is that? Thank you. That's all I'm saying. It's like, and you know, she's you know, just like, you know, Gabby Douglas and the other brown skin girl. She's another brown skin girl who's representing Olympics too. And I don't want you know, white people laughing at us like, look at these niggers, like can't even follow the simple direction. You know, I don't want them to think will represent us as a whole as if we're ghetto fabulous, even though it's constantly in the culture of the black community. But we can too follow directions. We are civilized people who, you know, want better for our lives and can, you know, like we're just outstanding people. But all this ghetto fabulous movement is dropping us, man. That's all I'm saying. You know, she don't know. I'm pretty much sure this is her first time being in the Olympics. You know, so I hope someone talks to her like, look, you know, like we're going to the Olympics. You know, you have to, you know, you can't have colorful hair. You know, like, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I did look it up. I Googled Olympians with colorful hair, and there were a couple of girls, white girls, doing it. So I can't really be too hard on it because, as I said before, I thought that this was my personal issue. I thought that there was some type of, you know, like your uniform can't clash with, you know, your hair type of thing. I thought because that's what happens in the neck of the woods that I work at. But if it's not, then I guess it's fine. But I'm just saying it bothered me a little bit.
We get where you're coming from, Hannah. So it's not like you make some valid points, very valid points.
Yeah, I get. I'll be real quick, Bronzebird. Yeah. Like I get that. And you know what? Hannah is totally right when it comes to this ghetto fabulous image that some of our people promote. She is completely right about that. I can't disagree with that. You know what it is with me when it comes to Sha'Carri Richardson is because what it is with me is that, you know, me going through social media, I've read so much black people making negative comments about her, totally dismissing her because of her wig and her tattoos and what have you, saying all sorts of derogatory things about her. And I just got pissed off at the fact that I'm not saying that they're totally wrong at what they're saying, but what I'm saying is that they totally dismiss her altogether for one or two things that they disagree with about her. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just saying that so-called black, once again, I'm not saying that Hannah is doing this. I'm being general. I'm just saying that so-called black people altogether should not totally dismiss a person just because there's a few things that we see about that person that we don't agree with. You get what I'm saying? We can disagree with someone, but at the same time, give them credit to where credit is due. Like I said, I don't like the weave and tattoos that she has. I don't like it. I think that shit is unattractive. It's not feminine. But at the same time, I could separate that from me critiquing her performance. That's just it, you know. So that's just it. So I think that so-called black people once again should learn how to understand. Okay, I don't agree with this and that she's doing, but I'm not going to totally dismiss this individual. That's all.
Eric, peace, Chief. What's going on?
Yo, what's up, everybody? Man, this topic is Brownsburg versus pro blacks.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is interesting. I want to know if Black Lives Matters are really pro blacks.
They're not.
Yeah, absolutely they're not, because it's like it's all about them. I remember when I was on Wacky World television, and I was like intimidating them and stuff. Like they not.
Bro, sorry to interrupt. You didn't intimidate anybody, bro. You didn't intimidate anybody, but okay, go ahead, bro.
Smoky peace.
Like I was like trying to give an example. Like Black Lives Matter is like similar to it's about them. Like it's less pro black. Like it's the same similarity. Like they want to have rights. Like the whole time it wasn't pro black. It's all about them and how fake they are. Like, wow, Black Lives Matters. It's not who they think they are. Like, all it is about themselves, and all it is one leader is about the greed. She don't care about black people who gets killed by white cops. Like, they promote it to get money off of their deaths, which is like a double red flag. No, triple red flag. When I said triple red flag, that means that they are profiting off of them and make the black community feel bad. That's what they pursuing. They pursuing the root of all evil, of making the black community even worse and not helping them out correctly. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and Dr. Umar Johnson will be despised. Black Lives Matters. Like, this is not what we want in the black community. We supposed to help our black people out. I need to start doing it myself, you know, and others who are black, even though we using it for our voices and our mouths, you know, because one guy challenged me and he asked me, what do you do for the black community? I'm just sparing them the knowledge. I'm just telling them about what's what, you know, like Yaku and stuff. Like give them this knowledge that nobody had never had told most of us black people for centuries, decades, years, and beyond. You know, like this is so interesting. I'm like, this is like, whoa, like this is something new. Like I know pro blacks know about this. They got to know. And they also know that there's black people in different planets that we don't know about, that I probably had discovered on Big Head Scientist channel. Because a guy that was a former boxer had told me that is nothing but blackness in the parallel universe. You know, black science fiction is real. Because there are universes that's like light years away. It's like way beyond miles, way beyond minutes and hours, and way beyond days. Like, this is like, wow. This is like, there are interracial black people in those planets. There's Pickle Man. And Pickle Man that's what Piccolo was based on. I seen it on Big Head Scientists. You know? Like, whoa, that's what Atia got it from. Like, there is a Pickle Man, but Pickle Man is a black man. And in 2003, London did some research on it. I didn't even know about this. Like, it's so overwhelming, you know?
Okay.
Can I say something, Eric?
Yeah, like. No, go ahead.
All right, thank you. Eric. Okay, when I hear you speak, right, and you keep saying you got this on Big Head Scientist channel and stuff like that. Okay, what I want you to understand is that you can't believe every single thing you hear on YouTube. You know, YouTube is not a primary credible source of information. I mean, if you come across some information, okay, if you watch a video on YouTube and that video is saying some information, you have to do the research yourself and cross-reference it yourself to see if that information is true. Because there's tons of things that people on here say that's not really true. So you can't just, you know, because it seems to me that you're just believing something just because you've seen it on YouTube. And if that's the case, you can't do that. There's
Well, you
anybody can
can.
say anything on YouTube.
Well, I'm gonna also add this in as well. We also have to just be very cognizant. Just to elaborate, or add on to Wacky's point, social media is a guide, but in order for knowledge of self and knowledge as it is, a lot of people don't do this. But you need to get back to those books, and I'm just talking about in general. Get back to the books. You know what I'm saying? Because people can sprinkle like everything that I've come across. I guess so far, I made the mistake of doing that in the past, and I admit that. But for me, especially, I'm like, okay, cool. This is from YouTube, or this is from Instagram, or Twitter, or something like that. I said that's cool, but you have to inspire yourself of actually learning it, or asking the person who gave you that information where they get their credit and their sources from. So you look that up, and you also look that up with other sources as well. And I'm still learning that, so I don't want to make it seem like, oh yeah, I definitely don't do it no more. Like, I'm still learning not to do that. But yeah, go ahead.
Right. You're right, Rocky World. Yeah. I still gotta do some research not only on YouTube, other social sources as well. Yeah, because I don't want to be tricked. Because I can't believe everything they hear. Like I remember when somebody had no, not somebody. I take that back. When I was in school, they was like tricking us and stuff, and some stuff was left out, and I was shocked. Like, whoa! Like you got to remember that they ain't teach us that. You can't act like you didn't remember, because in those test books, they hysterical, and some of the stuff that they be leaving out because they want to hear the truth. They will do that on purpose. Like it can't be allowed in our school systems. You know, like oh, it's in danger. When I say in danger, they gonna put us out because they can't handle the truth. They really real sensitive when it comes to that. But at the same time, it's like no, uh-uh, we cannot um allow this. We gotta leave this out, leave that, it's not gonna make it to the textbooks, you know, like um for instance, that world history had left some stuff out and I was good at world history so much. But when I was when people was telling me even you know a former boxer Bigfoot, he was start telling me about the uh black man is the white man, the black woman is the white woman, but they don't want to admit it. They can hide it because they want to handle the truth about their heritage. Like they so scared, or they deny. They will deny the fact about their real history. Because I remember when I was with a old timer, I remember when I was younger, I think I was in my teens, and he used to tell me about that God had put a curse to make black people. I thought I had believed that, but when someone had told me like Bigfoot and the others, I started doing my research, and they was doing a examination on the skulls, uh, saying they was doing an examination to see who was the first race. Then the result was black folks. Like, this is shocking. This is very, very shocking. Like, wow, they ain't gonna teach us that in school. They ain't gonna talk about who was the first race that came to America. But I also remember when they was teaching us that they said it was the Indians. Then they ain't teach about how, that as originals, because I didn't know what it was until I did like research, or YouTube. I probably do my do sources here and there more to learn more and understand more. I mean, the Wikipedia is okay, right? Mm-hmm.
Could
Like,
be.
huh?
You
No,
have to do deep.
you gotta
You
do
have to
deeper
do deeper
research, man.
research, and you have
Wik-
to actually look up. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say like internet sources could be is risky because that's not primary sources. It's usually secondary sources. So then you have to try to find and refer to the primary source in order to get the actual information. Well, not the actual information, but the close to you know what I mean. Like that. I don't want to say real information, but that information, that's that information. You get what I mean. But you guys, make sure you get your closing thoughts in. I'm gonna shut down in a bit. Y'all go ahead with y'all final thoughts on it. Um, however order you want to do it, or y'all want me to do the order.
Okay, I'll go. I'll go first.
So Wacky, Lady A, JustHannah, Demetris, and Eric.
All right. Now, well, okay. What I was going to say, as far as Wikipedia is concerned, uh, you have to look up the actual sources that is provided on the Wikipedia link. But like Brownsburg said, you have to look up primary sources, like the actual historical records, like the actual archaeology provided to prove that something is true when it comes to something in history. You cannot believe every single thing that people say on YouTube. You can't just do it. Do the research first. And I know Eric was saying that, well, I should not only use YouTube as a source of research. No, 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 no. You can't use YouTube as a source of information. Period. Period. If you hear some information on YouTube, look it up to see if it's true first. Do the extensive research. But my final thoughts is yeah. But once again, thank you, Brownsbird, for having me on here and having me speak. But you guys have a great night. Bye.
All
Peace, Chief.
right, same here.
Um, Lady A, Hannah, Demetris, and Eric.
Yeah. Once again, thank you so much for having me on the panel. It was a really good discussion. I'm really glad you did this topic because I think a lot of the times people don't understand why pro blacks get such a bad reputation, and it's important to understand why people are critical of, you know, to Eric's point about BLM, for example, why is it for the black community? Well, the name would suggest so, just like pro black would suggest so, but when you really look at what they're doing, it's actually quite counterproductive to the progress of black people. So this is a really important topic to have and to discuss because a lot of the times people just want to latch onto something because the name or the title sounds good. And they, like Wacky said, you have to do your research and dig into the source, whether it's content on YouTube or online or anything. Just get to the root of the matter so that you can operate with some truth. So, yeah, once again, thank you so much for another great panel and a great discussion. I hope everyone has a really good night. Peace out.
Peace. Thanks for coming.
Later.
Hannah.
Hey everyone. Okay, uh I didn't know that there was a uniform for the whole Olympics thing. But all I'm saying is we represent each other, every single one of us. We represent one. Like they look at us as a whole, you know, every single one of us. And all I'm saying is this ghetto, fabulous crap that's going on, you know, it's not appeasing and they're laughing at us. So in order for us to excel, we have to do better, you know. We're not just a wig or a yellow wig. We're more than that, you know? So everyone stay up, you know, unity and thanks.
Q-N-I-T-Y.
Thanks for the opportunity, Brownsbird, to talk. It's always been great being at your show.
You always are a great contributor. Yeah. Hope to see you Friday. Yeah, thanks for coming aboard. Demetris, next.
Yeah, so yeah, the whole pro-black thing is it depends on where you stand on it and if you follow through, you know. And sadly, nobody can hold you to that but yourself. So hopefully, the ones that are seeing this, they'll check themselves a little bit, you know.
True. No, go ahead. My fault. I definitely
about my partner.
Touch
I was
on that,
telling you about
please.
for my stream. Y'all gonna hate her.
Why is that?
Everybody
Why
gonna
is
hate
that?
her. Cause so I got her thoughts on the whole colorism topic and stuff. And okay, like at first it was going good. And Jessica, she said send me an invite because she wanted to be like the group auntie or whatever. And so you already know how Jess feels about colorism.
I know how she's gonna be. Yeah.
And then you know how the divestors feel about colorism.
That's gonna be a rabbit hole, bro.
But my best friend, she's almost like a softer Love Dorsey. She ain't no BS.
Okay.
It's like, listen, you deal with this, but you can't lie to yourself and act like this ain't a factor. So that she gonna get called mammy.
Look,
then she gonna get called a sisterhood. I'm gonna have to protect her and all that.
Wait, she's gonna be called a mammy or a sisterhood? Because remember, sisterhood
Both.
has to do
Both, depending on the topic.
Oh, okay. So it's gonna be flip floppy. Okay. Look, listen. Entertainment, good entertainment. I'm trying to see something. So, look, just as listening out there, you better be ready to bring that fire. You know what I'm saying? You better bring that fire. So, yeah. Go ahead, Demetris. My fault.
No, that's it. I just wanted to let you give you fair warning.
Okay. And it's supposed to be July 1st at what time?
Around 10. I might change it though because she's off that day, and I'm about to call her like right after I get off, so we can reschedule a different time.
All right, so let me know on it or whatever. Yeah, and my email is in the about section in case you just want to email me about it. But yeah, man, thanks for coming through. And you already know on Friday is gonna be another lit topic. But yeah, thanks for coming through, Eric. You last one.
Yeah, oh man, I came at the last minute, like the 3 hour mark, because I had took probably like a 3-4 hour nap, and I was talking about Black Lives Matter and the parallel universe, and I had to use Wacky World's advice, like he just said. Don't believe anything that you hear and stuff. I gotta do research because he is right about that. Yeah, man. I will do that. Can't use YouTube as a source.
No. Use YouTube as a guide. So from there, you pick up the information, take the notes that you find interested, and then do the research on your own. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just YouTube is a presentation. That's all it is. You know what I mean? And then whatever you get from YouTube, You then, whatever notes you have, you then use that to actually do the research.
Oh, okay, my bad. I
That's
gotta
cool.
use it as a guide.
Yeah, as a guide.
Yeah, absolutely. That's that's a good thing because I forgot. I did some research on Kane
Yaku?
Yaku. Yeah,
Yaku? Yeah.
on the Wikipedia, and everything on the Wikipedia was kind of similar like YouTube.
Yeah, that. Like, well, what you probably could do is when they have the footnotes in there, use go to those footnotes and look into the information there, and try to see if you can pick up on any books of any scientists that had any studies about Yakub, however it's pronounced. But the reason I didn't try to go farther into it when you mentioned it last time is only because I heard it from someone, and I said I remember having a conversation about that, but I didn't dig deep into that. So, yeah, I understand that. But yeah, you should definitely be fine with the research. Everything should be cool. But yeah, man. That's the odds on that. But yeah, man, just make sure that you take your time and research the stuff that you find of interest and stuff like that, so you'll know what you're talking about next time. So yeah.
Right, exactly.
So yeah, man, thanks for coming. The stream. There's gonna be another stream Friday. Of course, always invited, and yeah, just keep out on the lookout on that. So thanks for coming again, man. Appreciate you.
All right, no problem. Later, has that for the culture.
For the culture, for the nation.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Peace. So that's it, guys. You know the vibes. Thank you all that participated. You know how this is. I do my music before I leave. Next episode is going to be called Robin Trail Mate Determinate Part 2. Mainly an introspection of yourself. What is it that you're looking to give to the table when it comes to standards of relationships and stuff like that. So yeah, give me a second so I can get this music blasting and I can get up out of here. You feel me? Give me 1 second.
Did I tell you you got the world in the palm of your hand? Tell you you got the world at your command. Did I tell you you got the world in the palm of your hand? Did I tell you you got the world in the palm of your hand? In the palm of your hand. Didn't I tell you you got the world in the palm of your hand? In the palm of your hand. Didn't I tell you you got the world in the palm of your hand? Didn't I tell you you got the world in the palm of your hand? Didn't I tell you you got the world at your command? Didn't I tell you you got the world in the palm of your hand? Didn't I tell you you got the world?
Cypher, represent for all my niggas. Yeah, represent like that. Early stages of early ages, I'm reminiscing and gripping the hearts of my niggas as they listen to ill visions in times of my trite disposition. Producing a resolution of togetherness and whatever do we living the struggle. Hard liquor forever guzzle. Drugs, Colombian smuggle, running for us to hustle. Pouring out beer for the fatal whenever able. Bad boys like puffs, label turning the table. Held down the floor, supported to get cash fronts. Man's used for hustle and steadily pass blunts. But we knew that we was in the room. But moms wasn't affording Jordan, so we will hustle to the break of dawn. Horrible memories of burner busting enemies. Scarface wannabes doing 10 years penalty. Street vocabulary learners. Pain was filling the hearts of us Jersey breaded villains, cause blood was spilling. None of us wanted to fall into a deeper hole. Lives getting stole cause we played criminal roles. Thought man ground together, attitude be it whatever. Us live weather wearing hoodies, tips, and leathers. Never attended church. Us we fucked out. Some said we be nothing, eternally burning hell. No, it didn't matter. We still hung tight. Did plenty of dirty nights. Saw Jake and took flight. Cause lockdown is nothing but a cot in the jail cell. School couldn't excel. Moms never paid bail. More deep. Whole damn squad loved each other. No relation whatever, but perpetrated as brothers. No question. Brotherly love is what we manifesting. Making sure each and every guard study their lesson. So for all of my niggas, I give respect. And leave sex back by licking shots. Cause I love them to death. I love my niggas, yo. I love my niggas to death. I love my niggas to the very last breath. I love my niggas, yo. I love my niggas to death. No as I stand amongst the Cypher, watch the Buddha smoke rise. I put 40s the same knives to keep the memories alive. For my niggas that all had the same thoughts of fame, but life's drains left us all embraced by the street gangs. On our corners looking for dead presidents and better. Hoodie sweaters, fatigue suits, tails with suede leather. Selling dimes of weed, smoke collecting Genos. Blessed brothers with Buddha, then we step before the beast school. Cause on the corner, older niggas used to want us out crackheads. That once hated feds, now turn informers. 5-4, we getting after niggas for a bag of cess. Undercover dressed and guests trying to make a rest. Stress be having niggas running from probation. Joining the 5% nation, missing months of education. We skipped school, puff lie was the deli model. Fuck college with street knowledge, brought in the deli dollars. Living life tripe, holding the automatic trigger. Drinking more liquor that was slowly killing younger niggas. So I switched to Valentine, kept on writing rhymes. My crew encouraged me to keep it real and big of mine. Now I search and find, living life throughout my lessons. Giving blessings to blunt sessions that keep the brain refreshing. Manifesting and addressing questions on how we live as adolescents. No more guessing, I leave the jelly presents. But still I maintain, cause it's a long path to follow. Fuck a role model, cause mine goes with the 40 bottle. Some hit by hollow bullets trying to get paid. No more broke days and selling nickel back for trades. So as long as I live, I'm picking up my feet. Whether 6 feet deep, resting in eternal sleep. I keep it real with every word from my breath. Licking shots for my niggas, cause I love them to death. I love my niggas, yo. I love my niggas to death. I love my niggas. I love my niggas to the very last breath. I love my niggas, yo. I love my niggas to death.
Demo time here on the Stretch Armstrong Show. Lemon cookies. Shout out to Erica, Strong Island.